Introduction: The Great Illusion of the Clock. What would happen if the most fundamental thing you understand about reality was completely wrong? From the moment you were born, you have been trained to worship a cruel and invisible god, the clock. They have taught you that time is an implacable arrow that shoots forward and never returns. They have convinced you of many false things. They convinced you that the past is a sentence written in stone that you must carry on your shoulders in the form of guilt or nostalgia, and that the future is a threatening mist that you must look at with anxiety. You have lived, believing that you are a simple, helpless passenger on the train of chronology, watching the landscape of life. You watch the landscape of your life pass through the window without being able to stop it or alter it. They have lied to you. The truth is much stranger and at the same time infinitely more liberating. You do not only move through time, you create it. Welcome to the Metaphysics of Time. You are the architect of your own duration. In this audiobook, we are not going to talk about time management or productivity. We are going to challenge the tyranny of linear perception. We are going to discover that what you call time is not a rigid external structure, but a fluid and malleable projection of your own consciousness. It is an internal mirror of your spirit. Imagine for a moment that you could enter the archives of your memory and edit the pain of yesterday, not as a simple psychological exercise, but as a literal alteration of your energetic structure. Imagine that you could bring the joy and success of a dreamed future and experience them here and now, collapsing the weight in your life. Imagine collapsing the weight and forcing physical reality to manifest before your eyes. This is not science fiction. It is the hidden mechanics of reality. Stop allowing the past to define you and the future to paralyze you. Your internal state, your vibration, and your sovereign focus are the true time machine. You are the engine. When you master your consciousness, time stops being a straight line and becomes a vast ocean, where everything exists simultaneously, waiting for you to decide where to navigate. Forget everything they have taught you about yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We are about to dive into the true nature of your existence beyond calendars. We are going beyond calendars and clocks. Get ready to reclaim your power. Get ready to discover that the only moment that exists and the only place where your ability to perform miracles resides is this precise instant. Welcome to the eternal now. This is your point of power. This is where your new story begins to be written. Chapter 1. The Linear Prison, the Deception of the Mind. Look at the corner of your phone screen. Look at the calendar on the wall. What do you see? You see numbers, you see dates. You see a structure that organizes your life, telling you when to wake up, when to eat, when to work, and when to sleep. It seems harmless, doesn't it? A useful tool to coordinate appointments and not miss the train. But if you look closer, with the eyes of the spirit, you will see something much more sinister. You will see the bars of a cell. You are serving a life sentence in a prison that you cannot touch, but that you feel in every heartbeat of anxiety, in every sigh of regret, and in every moment of impatience. That prison is called linear time. Welcome to Chapter 1. Today we are going to commit an escape. But to escape a prison, you must first understand how it is built, where the guards are, and, most importantly, realize that the door was never actually locked. You have been a voluntary prisoner of a concept, and today you will learn how to walk through the phantom walls. The collective hallucination. Let's start with a statement that will make your logical mind rebel. Time, as you experience it psychologically, does not exist. It is not a fundamental reality of the universe. It is a mental construct, a collective hallucination that we have accepted as absolute law. It is a shared dream that limits us. Imagine a dog sitting in the park. The dog doesn't know what day it is. It doesn't know if it is Monday or Sunday. It is not worried about whether it will have food in 2028. It doesn't feel guilty for having barked at the mailman in 2019. The dog lives in a dimension of pure immediacy. It is fully present in its sensory experience of life. You, however, are rarely in the park. Your body is in the park, yes, but your mind is traveling. You are reliving the argument you had yesterday with your partner, past. You are rehearsing tomorrow's business meeting, future. You are dismembering your own life, stretching it on an imaginary horizontal line, and losing the only thing you have. By doing so, you miss the only thing you truly have, the now. The linear prison is the unquestionable belief that your life is a straight line going from birth, point A, to death, point B. You believe the past is behind you, pushing and defining you. You believe the future is ahead of you, waiting with promises or threats. This linear vision is the root cause of all human suffering. Why? Because it forces you to live in two places that do not exist. You are constantly absent from the only reality that can actually sustain you. To reclaim your power, you must stop being a traveler of ghosts and become a resident of the present moment, here and now. Dissecting the ghost of the past. Let's talk about yesterday. I want you to try to touch yesterday. I want you to bring me a piece of yesterday. You can't. What you have are traces, photos, scars, documents. But those traces exist now. You look at them now. What you call past is in reality a memory trace stored in your present brain. When you remember something, you are activating a neural network in the present. You are having a thought now about an event that is no longer here. The problem is not practical memory, knowing how to drive or your name. That is useful. The problem is psychological memory. It is the story you tell yourself about what events mean. I am an insecure person because my father yelled at me 20 years ago. Analyze that sentence. Your father's shout lasted perhaps 10 seconds. It happened once. The sound dissipated into the air 2 decades ago, but you have kept that shout alive artificially. You have reproduced it in your mind 10,000 times. You made it real. You have turned a dead event into a living identity. The linear prison makes you believe the past is a real burden you carry in your backpack. You feel that your mistakes, traumas, and failures are bricks that accumulate and determine who you are today. I cannot be happy today because bad things happened yesterday. This is a lie. This is a metaphysical lie. The past has no power. The past cannot touch you. The past is a ghost without hands. The only power the past has is the power you give it by paying attention to it now. The moment you withdraw your attention from the memory, the past ceases to exist. You are free in the instant you realize the chain is smoke, the trap of future salvation. Now let's look the other way. Tomorrow. The linear prison trains us to live in a state of permanent hope or permanent anxiety. Society sells you the idea that the present moment is only a means to an end. You go to school to have a job. You work to have money. You have money to retire. You retire to die. We live waiting for the next moment. I will be happy when I get married. I will be calm when I pay off the mortgage. I will feel complete when I have that body. This is madness. You are postponing life. You are treating the present moment, which is sacred and unique, as if it were an annoying obstacle to overcome for an imaginary future. But here is the cruel trick of the linear prison. The future never arrives. Think about it. Have you ever experienced the future? When the moment you were waiting for finally comes, the wedding, the promotion, where does it happen? It happens in the now. It is always now. If you spend your life waiting, you will never truly live. If you spend your life training your mind to wait for the future, when the future arrives, you won't know how to enjoy it, because your mind will be automatically looking for the next future. It is the carrot tied to the stick in front of the donkey. The donkey runs and runs, believing the carrot is one step away, but the distance never changes. Clock time versus psychological time. To escape the prison, we must make a vital distinction taught by masters like Eckhart Tolle. There is clock time and psychological time. Clock time, it is functional, it is the tool. The plane leaves at 16 kine. I have to pay the bill on the 5th. Learning this language will take me 6 months. It is 3D. This is necessary to move in the physical 3D plane. We are not going to throw the clock away. We need to synchronize. Psychological time. It is dysfunctional. It is the disease. It is when you mix your sense of I, your identity, with time. It is when the deadline of the 5th becomes I am afraid of being a failure. It is suffering. It is when the plane leaves at 16 becomes I hate waiting, my life is a waste of time. Psychological time is suffering. It is resistance to what is. The metaphysics of time consists of using clock time but completely eliminating psychological time. The magician arrives exactly on time but enjoys the journey fully while getting there. The ego is the guard of the cell. Why is it so hard to leave this prison? Why are we addicted to thinking about the past and the future? Because your ego lives there. The ego, that false identity you built, I am John, the lawyer who got divorced and hopes to be rich, needs time to survive. The ego is time. It cannot exist in the now. If you take away the past, the ego doesn't know who it is. If I forget my victim story, who am I? If you take away the future, the ego has nothing to pursue and nothing to fear, and it feels unnecessary. The ego feeds on problems, and problems always live in time. You never have a problem now. Think about it. Truly, in this precise nanosecond, do you have any problem? You may have a situation that requires action. I am cold, I put on a coat. But that is not a problem. It is a challenge and an action. The problem arises when you think, what if the cold gets worse tomorrow? What if I get sick? There you have brought in time and suffering. The prison has a fierce guardian, and that guardian is your own unobserved mind. It tells you, do not look at the now. The now is boring. The now is dangerous. Look at your past problems. Look at your future fears. Stay busy. Leaving the linear prison is, in essence, the death of the ego. And that terrifies your primitive part, the ontology of the block universe. Let's get a bit scientific to satisfy your intellect. Modern physics, since Einstein, suggests something unsettling: the block universe. Imagine a loaf of sliced bread. Each slice of bread is a moment in time. The slice at the beginning, the slice in the middle, and the slice at the end. According to this theory, the entire loaf of bread exists at once. The future is not being created out of nothing. It is already there, waiting. The past has not been erased. It is still there, frozen. The only thing that moves is not time. What moves is your consciousness. Your consciousness is like a light that illuminates one slice. We call now the slice we are currently illuminating, but the other slices are just as real. This is fundamental to understanding the metaphysics of time. If the future already exists, as a quantum possibility, it means you don't have to create it with effort and sweat. You have to tune into it. You have to shift your light. You have to move the light of your consciousness toward that slice. The linear prison tells you that to reach the success slice, you have to walk painfully through all the intermediate slices of effort. Metaphysics tells you that you can jump. You can fold the bread. You can access future information and bring it to the present. Horizontality versus verticality. Here is the master key to escaping the cell. Most of humanity lives in the horizontal dimension. It is the line of chronological time, past, present, future. It is the dimension of duration. In the horizontal, you are small. You are a point moving toward death. You always lack time. But another dimension exists, the vertical dimension. This dimension cuts the horizontal line at a right angle. It is the depth of the now. When you enter deeply into the present moment, time stops. Has it ever happened to you? A moment of extreme danger, a car accident. A moment of extreme beauty, a sunset or an epiphany. Suddenly there is no past, there is no future. There is only a vibrant intensity. Seconds seem like hours. You feel alive like never before. That is vertical time. That is eternity. Eternity is not a long time, millions of years. Eternity is the absence of time. The escape from prison consists of diving into the vertical now. When you live vertically, you access the quantum field. In the deep now, there is no resistance, and where there is no resistance, manifestation is instantaneous. Your desires are not far away in the future, horizontal. They are deep in the present, vertical. You have to dig, not run. You have to be still to arrive. The waiting room syndrome. Observe your life with brutal honesty. How much time do you spend waiting? Waiting at the red light, waiting for the meeting to end, waiting for the weekend, waiting for your kids to grow up, waiting to retire. You have turned your life into a vast waiting room. It is the greyest cell in the prison. In the waiting room, your soul withers. You are telling the universe, this moment is worth nothing, I only want the next one. And the universe, which is a mirror, responds, if this moment is worth nothing, I will give you more empty moments. And so, life slips through your fingers, grey and blurry. You must break the cycle. Break the wait. If you're in a traffic jam, do not wait to get home. You are in the car. Feel the steering wheel. Look at the sky. Listen to music. Breathe. Inhabit the moment. If you stop waiting, time collapses. Impatience is the ego wanting to be where it is not. Sovereignty is being fully where you are right now. Paradoxically, when you stop being in a hurry, things start to move faster toward you. Because you have stopped emitting the vibration of lack, waiting, and have started emitting the vibration of fullness, presence. Presence is the magnet. Waiting is the repellent. The universe rewards the one who is already there in spirit. The illusion of linear causality. We have been taught cause, effect. First you work hard, then you have money. First you heal, then you feel good. This is linear logic. In the metaphysics of time, causality is circular or even inverse. The effect can create the cause. The future can influence the present moment. If you now generate the emotion of being rich, effect, that emotion travels backward and reorganizes your reality to create the causes, opportunities, that justify that wealth. You are not tied to the logic of A leads to B. You can go directly to B, the state of consciousness, and let the universe build the bridge from A. The linear prison tells you, you cannot feel successful until you see the money. Vertical freedom tells you, if you feel successful now, time will bend to bring you the money. You are hacking chronology. You are the architect of your own sequence. By changing the end, you automatically rewrite the beginning and the middle. Deprogramming exercise. Stopping the world. To finish this first chapter, you need to experience the glitch in the matrix. You need to feel, not just understand, that time is an illusion. You are going to do this today. Find a quiet moment. Sit down. Close your eyes. Ask yourself, what time is it if I don't look at the clock? Do not answer with numbers. Feel the answer. Without external references, without sun, without a clock, what time is it? It is now. It is always the same time. Now ask yourself, do I have any limit? Feel your consciousness, not your body, your sense of I am. Does that sensation have an age? Does it have a date? Does that I am have an age? Is it 10 years old, 40 years old, 80 years old? No. The I you felt as a child is the same I you feel now. Your body has aged, your mind has accumulated data, but the observer is timeless. That observer is you. That observer is outside the prison. Breathe that timelessness. Feel the weight drop. Feel the backpack of the past fall away. Feel the fog of the future dissolve. There is only you, here, eternal, invulnerable. You are the master of the clock, and the clock is no longer your master. You have taken the first step towards sovereignty. Tomorrow, we will learn how to edit the past that you still think is real. Chapter 2, The Eternal Now, The Point of Power. Imagine walking into a movie theater. You sit down. The movie begins. You watch the protagonist be born, grow up, fall in love, suffer, grow old, and die. You cry. You laugh. You feel anxious. You are totally absorbed in the linear story projected on the screen. You believe the story is happening right now before your eyes. You believe it. You believe the protagonist does not know what is going to happen in the next scene. But if you go up to the projection booth and look at the film roll, you will see something that will break your immersion. On the physical roll, birth, beginning, and death, end, exist simultaneously. The frame where he is a baby is next to the one where he is old. The entire movie is wound in a static spiral. The movie does not happen, the movie is. The only thing that makes it seem like there is time and movement is the projector's light illuminating one frame at a time. You are the projector. Your consciousness is the light, and the universe is the film roll. Welcome to the eternal now. Today we are going to stop looking at the hypnotic screen of linear life, and we are going to climb up to the projection booth. We are going to discover that the only place where you have the power to cut, edit, or change the movie is not on the screen, the future or the past, but in the lens, the now. This is where your sovereignty resides. The physics of the block universe. To get you to accept this, we need to silence your inner skeptic with some hard physics. Einstein's theory of relativity and subsequent models of physics, like Minkowski spacetime, suggest an amazing reality. We live in a block universe. Imagine the universe not as a flowing river, but as a giant solid block of ice. It is finished. Inside that block, every event that has happened and every event that will happen is frozen in its place. The dinosaurs are still alive in their space-time coordinate. Your birth is happening eternally in its coordinate. Your death already exists in its coordinate. And your successful version also exists already, frozen in the block. Nothing passes. Nothing disappears. Everything coexists in an eternal static present. What we call the passage of time is simply our consciousness moving through the block, illuminating successive cross-sections. Why is this the most important news of your life? Because it means you do not have to create your future. You select it. Creating implies effort. Creating implies pulling something out of nothing. If the future already exists in the block, your job is not to create. Your job is to select. Your job is to move the lens of your projector toward the coordinate where your desire is already a fact. The now is the mouse cursor on the screen of infinity. The myth of the in-between. Most people live in a place that does not exist. They live in the in-between. They consider the now as an annoying bridge. I am here now, but I want to be there, future. I hope this passes quickly. They treat the present as an obstacle. Like a dirty waiting room you have to run through to reach the palace of tomorrow. But here is the cosmic trap. Tomorrow has no substance. You cannot eat tomorrow. You cannot kiss tomorrow. You cannot spend money tomorrow. When you get to tomorrow, it will have become now. If you have trained your mind to hate the now and seek the future, when you reach your goal, your mind will habitually reject it. Your mind will reject that now and seek the next future. It is the curse of Tantalus. The water recedes every time you try to drink. The point of power is the vertical instant where you stop, where you say, I am going nowhere. Everything I need is here. In that moment of radical acceptance, your energy stops leaking away. Your energy stops leaking forward and backward. It concentrates, it becomes a laser. And only a laser can cut the diamond of reality. A scattered light bulb cuts nothing. Your scattered attention manifests nothing. By being fully present, you anchor the power of the entire universe into this single point of existence. The energetic hemorrhage. Visualize yourself as a human battery. You have, let's say, 100 units of vital energy, consciousness, available each day to manifest your reality. To materialize a large change, healing an illness, doubling your income, you need to apply, let's say, 80 units of concentrated energy into a new mental image. But let's audit your energy. 20 units are hijacked in the year 2010, reliving a divorce or a job failure, guilt, grumbling. 10 units are in last week, rethinking what you should have said in that argument. 40 units are in next year, worrying about the economy or old age, anxiety, fear. 25 units are scattered in the noise of social media and daily distraction. Sum it up. 20 plus 10 plus 40 plus 25, 95 units. You have 5 units available in the now. With 5 units of energy, you can barely stay awake, let alone bend reality. You are an energetic giant who has self-sabotaged by fragmenting your soul along the timeline. You feel tired, not because you work a lot, but because you are not here. You are keeping dead realities alive, past, and feeding imaginary monsters, future, with your own lifeblood. The eternal now is the tourniquet. It is the order of, I reclaim my energy. It is the act of calling all your soldiers who are lost in the war of yesterday and tomorrow, and bringing them back to the headquarters of today. When you do this, when you bring 100% of your attention to this instant, to your breath, your body, your sense of I am, you feel an almost electric rush of power. You become dense, you become magnetic. Your presence fills the room. Now you have 100 units in the cannon. Now if you visualize something, the universe trembles and obeys. The narrow gate. All mystical traditions speak of the narrow gate, the eye of the needle, the infinitesimal point. That gate is the present instant. It is narrow because your luggage does not fit. You cannot pass through the now carrying your past resentments. You cannot pass through the now carrying your future plans. Only you can pass. You must be naked of history, naked of narrative identity. To enter the point of power, you have to be willing to die psychologically to your story. You have to be willing to forget, for a few minutes, that you are the person who has debts. In the pure now, there are no debts. There is only breathing. There is only existence. Debts are a concept of time, unpaid past, future to pay. In the nanosecond of the now, you are free. And it is from that freedom that you can generate the vibration of wealth that will pay the debts. You cannot solve the problem from the vibration of the problem. You have to exit time, enter the now, and return with the solution. The paradox of instant manifestation. Here we reach the secret that confuses beginners. I have told you that the now is the only place to manifest, but you say, okay, I'm in the now. But in the now, my car is still old and my account is empty. If I focus on the now, am I not validating my poverty? Excellent question. You must distinguish between the two states. Distinguish between the circumstantial now and the vibratory now. Circumstantial now, 3D. What your eyes see, the echo of the past, the dead star. Vibratory now, 5D. What your consciousness feels. The master trick of the magician is to be in the physical now but superimpose a new vibratory template over it. It is an overlay. You do not deny reality, the car is old, but you withdraw your judgment and emotional label from it. In the now, you can close your eyes and invoke the emotion of driving a new car. Since the brain does not distinguish, if you feel it intensely now, for the universe it is happening now. The block universe registers this frequency. The universe is forced to move matter so that it matches the vibration. But this only works if the emotion is real in the now. You cannot say, I will feel good when the car arrives. That is projecting into the future. You must say, I feel good now because I am already experiencing it. Joy must be present. You are the master of time. Technique, the 0-point anchor. How do we do this in real life, when the boss shouts and the children cry? You need an anchor. You need a way to return to 0 point, the eternal now, in 1 second. The mind is addicted to time. It will always want to escape. Try this the next time you feel anxiety, excess of future. Stop all physical movement. Stay still as a statue. Focus on your hands. Without looking at them, feel the life inside your hands. Do you feel the tingling, the heat? Extend that sensation. Feel the life in your feet, in your chest. Ask the question, what am I lacking at this precise instant? Do not answer with the mind. Feel the truth of the moment. In this instant, as you breathe, do you lack air? Do you lack life? Are you being devoured by a tiger? No, in this instant, you are complete. You are safe. That feeling of completeness is the frequency of God. Stay there for 30 seconds. You have just recharged your battery. You have just exited the matrix of psychological time. Verticality as a lifestyle. Living in the eternal now does not mean being a monk who meditates all day and doesn't pay his bills. It means living in vertical time. You make plans, horizontal, but you don't worry about the outcome. You work toward a goal, but your happiness depends on the quality of your work in the present. You inhabit the action. When you wash the dishes, you only wash the dishes. You are not thinking about the coffee afterward. You feel the water, the soap, the movement. You turn a boring task into a sacred act. That raises your frequency. And a high frequency maintained in the now collapses time. Things work themselves out. Synchronicity increases. Why? Because by not offering resistance to the present moment, you stop offering resistance to life. You become an open channel. The flow can only occur in the now. When you align with the current of the present, the entire ocean of existence moves in your favor. You become unstoppable because you are no longer fighting the clock. The thief of tomorrow. There is an old saying, he who worries suffers twice. I tell you, he who worries is stealing from the future to pay a debt that does not exist. If you have an exam tomorrow and you spend tonight distressed, you are wasting the mental energy you would need tomorrow to take the exam. You arrive at the moment of truth exhausted. You arrive vibrating in fear, and you fail. The self-fulfilling prophecy. If you had used the now to rest, to trust, to visualize success, you would have arrived at the exam with a full tank. Your anxiety about the future is what ruins the future. Your obsession with the result is what pushes the result away. Polish the present. Take care of the minutes and the years will take care of themselves. Take care of the now and destiny will take care of itself. To guarantee a brilliant future, you must ignore the future and refine the present until it shines. A perfect now inevitably strings together into a perfect life. Trust the mechanics of the eternal present. Death and time. Let's get to the bottom of the matter. Why are we so afraid of time? Because time leads to death. The ego knows that on the horizontal line at the end, there is an abyss. That is why the ego is always in a hurry. It wants to do everything before time runs out. But in the eternal now, there is no death. It is a timeless space. Pure consciousness, the observer, has no expiration date. When you install yourself in the now, you touch immortality. You lose the fear of aging. You lose the fear of not making it on time. You understand that you are on an eternal journey of exploration. This deep peace is the most powerful magnet that exists. It attracts all. It attracts health, because the body stops secreting stress hormones in the face of imaginary death. It attracts love. It attracts wisdom. You become a steady point in a moving world. By standing in the now, you stand in the center of the cyclone, where everything is calm and where all the power of the storm is at your disposal. Practical exercise, the return of the sovereign. Tonight, before sleeping, or tomorrow upon waking, you are going to do the fragment recovery exercise. It is an active visualization to reclaim your energy from time. Sit with your back straight. Close your eyes. Visualize that your body is a central sun. Visualize that you have thousands of threads of light coming out of you. They connect to scenes from the past, people you hate, ex-partners, failures, and to scenes from the future, fears, projects. See how your light escapes through those threads. Take a deep breath and with authority say mentally, I command all my energy to return to me now. I cut the threads of time, I reclaim myself whole. Visualize how those threads are pulled back. The light re-enters your solar plexus. Feel how you swell with light. You become heavy, hot, radiant. Feel the density of your presence. There is no past, there is no future. There is only a massive and brilliant I am. From this state, visualize your desire. It is a cosmic strike. Chapter 3, The Alchemy of Yesterday. Revision Technique. There is a popular saying that is perhaps the greatest curse ever cast upon the human psyche. The saying goes, what is done is done. We have been taught that the past is a marble statue, solid, cold, untouchable. We have been told that if you made a mistake 10 years ago, that mistake is carved into the stone of time. They say your only option is to live with the guilt or try to compensate for it in the future. We have been told that if you were hurt as a child, that wound is an immovable historical fact that defines your psychology forever. This belief makes you a victim of your own history. It forces you to drag a corpse tied to your ankle. You drag it for the rest of your days. But what if I told you that the marble is in reality wet clay? What if I told you that the past is not done, but is being constantly made and unmade within you? Welcome to Chapter 3, The Alchemy of Yesterday. Today we are going to commit an act of heresy against common sense. We are going to travel back in time, not with a metal machine, but with God's machine, your divine imagination. We are going to learn the revision technique. You are going to discover that you have the power to go back to the dark scenes of your life, enter them, change the script, change the ending, and return to the present. You will return to the present being a completely different person. Because if you change the cause, the past, you inevitably change the effect, you now. This is the true alchemy of the spirit. The lie of photographic memory. To understand how this works, we must first dismantle the myth of memory. Modern neuroscience and metaphysics agree on something surprising. Memory is not a faithful video file. When you remember your first kiss or that terrible argument, you are not playing back an MP4 file stored in your brain. You are reconstructing the scene. You are reconstructing the scene from scratch. Every time you remember, your brain takes fragments of information and reassembles them, coloring them with your current emotional state. If you are depressed today, you will remember your saddest childhood. If you are happy, you will remember it sweeter. Memory is a creative act. Memory is a creative act of the present. To remember is to imagine backward. If memory is imagination, and imagination creates reality, as we saw in the previous chapters, then remembering something bad over and over is to recreate it over and over. Each time you mentally relive that betrayal, you are reprinting it. You are printing the vibration of betrayal back into your cells. You are renewing the subscription to pain. You are telling the universe, this is what I am. Give me more of this. The past only has the power that you give it by reliving it in the now. If the past lives in your present mind, then the past is malleable, the pruning shears of revision. The great mystic Neville Goddard left us the supreme tool for this. He called it the pruning shears of revision. Imagine that your life is a garden. The events of the day are plants. Some are beautiful flowers, smiles, successes. Others are poisonous weeds, arguments, rejections, mistakes. Most people go to sleep. Leaving the weeds there. They say, well, today I had a horrible day. I fought with my boss. It's a fact. Tomorrow will be another day. By doing this, they let the weed take root in the subconscious during the night. That weed grows, and tomorrow it becomes a jungle of resentment. The time magician doesn't. The time magician does not do this. The magician takes his mental shears before sleeping and cuts the weed. But he does not just cut it, he replaces it. He performs a graft. He takes the negative event and rewrites it in his imagination exactly as he would have liked it to happen. And he relives it with such intensity. That his subconscious accepts the new version as the true one. He harvests a new reality from the soil of his mind. The Daily Revision Protocol. Let's go to the practice. This is what you must do every night without fail if you want to master time. It is the hygiene of the soul. Just as you brush your teeth to remove physical dirt, you must perform revision to remove chronological dirt. Follow these steps. The review. At the end of the day, before sleeping, review your day in your mind. Do not judge, just observe. The detection. Locate the moments where you reacted poorly, suffered a disappointment, or received bad news. Let's say you received a rejection letter from a job. The editing. Now rewind the tape to the exact moment before opening the letter. In your imagination, open the letter again, but this time read what you wanted to read. Congratulations, you have been accepted. We are delighted to have you. The experience. Do not see it as a distant movie. Feel it. Feel the jump in your heart. Feel the smile on your face. Feel the emotion of calling your partner to tell them. Feel the texture of the paper. The loop. Repeat this short scene 10-15 seconds over and over in a mental loop. Do it until you feel the click. The click is a moment of physical relief, a sigh, a feeling that this is how it happened. Your nervous system has been benevolently deceived. It has replaced the chemistry of rejection with the chemistry of acceptance. The dream, fall asleep with that feeling of victory. What did you just do? You have changed your frequency. If you had fallen asleep with the real rejection, your vibration for 8 hours would have been failure, attracting more failure tomorrow. By falling asleep with the imagined acceptance, your vibration is success. And according to the law, the universe must bring it. Perhaps they call you from that job saying there was an error, or perhaps they call you from a better one, but you have altered the trajectory of your future by altering your past. Deep revision, healing the trauma. But you will say this works for a letter, but what about real traumas? What about abuse, abandonment, or the death of a loved one? Are you asking me to pretend it didn't happen? Listen carefully, because this is sacred ground. Revision is not psychotic denial. You don't walk down the street saying, my father never died. You don't say that if your father is buried. That is madness. Revision is an internal spiritual act. You do not change the historical fact in the record books of the 3D world, although sometimes inexplicable miracles occur. You change the effect of the fact on your soul. If you had an unhappy childhood, you carry that vibration. You carry that I am not enough vibration today. You can use revision to go back to that childhood. Enter the scene where your father shouted at you. Freeze the image. Take that father off the stage. Bring in an ideal father. It can be an improved version of your father or a figure of light. Imagine that ideal father. Imagine that ideal father hugging you. He looks you in the eyes. He tells you, my son, you are perfect. I love you. I am proud of you. Feel that embrace. Hear those words. Cry the tears you didn't cry then. Substitute the memory of fear with the memory of love. If you do this with persistence day after day, what happens? Your subconscious, which is timeless and blind, begins to register that you were loved. You begin to walk through the world with the security of a loved child, not the insecurity of a rejected child. Your posture changes. Your voice changes. Your attraction changes. You have healed the root. And suddenly, in your present life, mentors, partners, and friends start to appear who treat you with love and respect. Why? Because you have changed your story. You have changed your broadcast. You are no longer the victim of your father. You are the creator of your internal father. Radical forgiveness as a side effect. Revision is the highest form of forgiveness. Traditional forgiveness often has an air of superiority. I, who am good, forgive you, who are bad, for what you did to me. That maintains the victim-executioner duality. It keeps the wound, even if it puts a bandage on it. Revision eliminates the wound entirely. When you revise someone who offended you, you imagine them acting with kindness. Imagine that the person who insulted you actually apologized or praised you. By doing so, you are taking away their role as villain in your mental theater. You are redeeming them within yourself. And here the magic of the quantum boomerang occurs. Often the real person in the physical world changes their behavior toward you without logical explanation. By changing the idea you have of them in the past, they respond to your new energy in the present. I have seen broken relationships heal because of this. One of the two dedicated themselves to revising past fights, transforming them into scenes of understanding. Do not try to change people by shouting. Change them in your memory, and you will see miracles. The world is a reflection of your internal gallery of portraits. Clean the portraits, and the world cleans itself. The temporal butterfly effect. Chaos theory tells us about the butterfly effect. The flapping of a butterfly's wings in Brazil can cause a tornado in Texas. A tiny change in the initial conditions drastically changes the final result. Your life is a complex system. A negative event in 1995, initial condition, led you to take defensive decisions. Those decisions brought you to your current situation. When you do revision, you are traveling to 1995 and changing the butterfly's flap. You are changing the initial condition. By introducing a new seed memory, success instead of failure, love instead of pain, you create a new timeline. Suddenly, your trajectory shifts. You begin to have new ideas that you would not have had with the old memory. You start taking risks you would not have taken. The you who would have failed ceases to exist, and the you who succeeds is born. It is literally jumping to a parallel reality where the past supports you instead of sinking you. The ego's objection: you are lying to yourself. Your logical mind is going to rebel. It is going to scream, "This is a lie. You are deceiving yourself. That didn't happen." You have the rejection letter in the drawer. This is where you must stand firm with your posture as sovereign. Chapter 9. Respond to the ego. What is truth? Is truth the dead physical fact? Is truth the dead physical fact that makes me suffer? Or is truth my spiritual reality that gives me power? If the lie, revision, heals me, gives me peace, and improves my future, then that lie is more true and more useful than your miserable truth. Besides, as we learned in Chapter 2, we live in a block universe. We live in a block universe with infinite possibilities. In some version of reality, you did get that job. In some version, you were loved. When revising, you are not inventing. You are tuning into that other version that already exists in the quantum field. You are moving your consciousness from line A, pain, to line B, love. Stop worshipping facts. Facts are only shadows of old imaginations. Create new facts. You are the architect of your history, and you have the right to edit the blueprints of your life until the building reflects the majesty of your true being. The art of living double. To master revision, you have to learn to live in two worlds simultaneously for a time. The world of the senses, 3D, tells you one thing. The world of the imagination, 4D, 5D, tells you another. You must learn to give priority to the internal world. If you receive bad medical news, listen to the doctor, 3D world. But immediately go home and do the revision, 4D world, Listen to the doctor telling you, "It's a mistake, the tests are clean." Maintain that internal reality firm against the external evidence. This requires titanic willpower at first. It is the divine denial. It is not ignoring the problem, you take the medicine. But energetically, you do not accept the diagnosis as the end of the story. You rewrite it continually. History has shown time and again that those who refuse to accept the final verdict of reality are the ones who achieve the impossible. Reality is fluid for the one who does not let themselves be impressed by it. Cleaning the ancestral line. Revision can go even further back than your birth. Many of your problems come from inherited traumas, epigenetics. You can revise the story of your parents and grandparents. Imagine your grandmother being happy instead of long-suffering. Imagine your grandfather being prosperous instead of poor. Send them energy. Send them that retroactive energy. Visualize the family tree filling with light backward. By healing the roots, you heal the fruit, you. Feel the genetic burden of pain dissolve in your blood. Tell your ancestors, "I rewrite it for us." The chain of pain ends here and now it becomes a chain of light, and of practical cases of instant revision. You don't have to wait for the night. The advanced magician does revision in situ. You are on a date and you say something stupid. You see the face of rejection from the other person. Immediately in your mind, without closing your eyes if you can't, say, "Cancel." And quickly imagine you said something witty. Imagine that you said something witty and that the other person laughed. Superimpose that image over reality. Ignore your mistake. Continue acting as if you had said the witty thing. Surprisingly, the other person often forgets your mistake, or interprets it another way, or the conversation flows so well it is irrelevant. You have edited the glitch in real time. You have prevented the seed of the error from taking root. You have protected your future by intervening in the immediate past. This is the skill of the master who does not allow his vibration to drop for even a second. The paradox of acceptance and revision. It may seem that revision contradicts the spiritual teaching of acceptance of the present moment, mindfulness. Should I accept what is, or should I change it? The answer is both. First, you accept the emotion you feel, do not repress it. You accept that, in the 3D, the event occurred. You do not fight the fact. But then, as sovereign creator, you decide that this fact is not the last word. You use your divine right to select a preferred reality. You accept the starting point, but you choose the destination. Revision is not resistance, fighting against what is. It is transcendence, rising above what is. Chapter 4. Memories of the Future, the Self-Fulfilling Prophecy. In Lewis Carroll's classic Through the Looking Glass, the White Queen tells Alice something that seems like nonsense, but is actually one of the most profound metaphysical secrets ever written. Alice says, "I can't remember things before they happen." And the Queen responds, "It's a very poor kind of memory that only works backwards." The Queen is right. Your memory is a bidirectional tool, but society has taught you to use it only with the reverse gear engaged. They have taught you to remember your failures, your names, your addresses, and your traumas. But no one has taught you to remember your future. Most people call this daydreaming or fantasy. The Time Magician calls it a self-fulfilling prophecy. Welcome to Chapter 4. Today we are going to hack your brain. We are going to exploit a flaw in your biological operating system. The fact that your brain does not know how to distinguish between a physical event and a high-fidelity internal simulation. It is a biological glitch. We are going to stop hoping for good things to happen. We are going to remember that they already happened, forcing 3D reality to fill the gap between your memory and your experience. We are going to align the external world with the internal record. This is the mechanics of destiny being rewritten from within the mind itself. The biology of illusion. To understand why this is not magic but mechanics, let's look inside your skull. Your brain lives in a dark and sealed box. It has no eyes or ears of its own. It only receives electrical impulses through the nerves. When you see a red apple with your eyes, your brain receives a specific electrical signal and says, "Apple." It is a process. When you close your eyes and vividly imagine a red apple, the same areas of the visual cortex are activated. The same neurons fire. For your brain, the imagined apple is real. Now let's take this to the field of life. If you spend the day worried about money, imagining poverty scenarios, your brain releases cortisol and adrenaline. Your body feels poverty physically. You are creating a memory of future poverty, and your body prepares for it, makes you act with fear, and paralyzes you. You are rehearsing failure. Elite athletes use this to their advantage. An Olympic runner runs the race in his mind 1,000 times before stepping onto the actual track. He feels the wind, he feels the pain in his legs, he feels the tape on his chest upon winning. When the day of the race arrives, his brain is not doing something new, it is executing a memory. For the athlete's brain, he has already won 1,000 times. The physical race is just a formality, so the world finds out what he already knows. You are going to become that athlete, but your track is not a stadium, it is your life. You are going to create memories of your success, your health, and your love so solid that when they happen in reality, you will have a feeling of déjà vu. You will say, "Ah yes, I have already been here, I know this place," though it will feel familiar. Difference between dreaming and remembering. Here is the nuance that separates dreamers from manifestors. Dreaming, hope. I hope one day I have that house. It would be so nice. Vibration, desire, distance, doubt. You are separated from the object. You see it far away in the horizontal future. It is a projection of lack. It is a wish that confirms you do not have it yet. Remembering certainty. I remember the day they gave me the keys to that house. I remember the smell of fresh paint. I remember how heavy the keys were in my hand. Vibration, possession, closeness, accomplished fact. You are united to the object. You have it inside. When you dream, you tell the universe, "I don't have it." When you remember, you tell the universe it already happened. And as we saw in Chapter 2, Block Universe, if you vibrate in "it already happened," you move instantly to the timeline where that is a reality. The mental trick is to change the verb tense. Stop thinking in the future. Stop saying, "I will be rich." It creates lag. Start thinking in the past. I remember when I became rich. By putting it in the past in your mind, you eliminate the anxiety of waiting. No one waits for what has already happened. You are settling the energy and occupying the state. You are claiming the territory of your desire as an already conquered province of your own history. Engineering fake memories that become true. How do we manufacture a memory of the future? A blurry image is not enough. We need sensory texture. Your primitive brain, the limbic system, responds to the senses, not to abstract concepts. $1 million is an abstract concept. Your brain doesn't know what to do with that. It cannot process a concept into a biological state. But the smell of new leather in your sports car seats, or the sound of the bank notification on your phone, that is real. That triggers chemistry. The Memory Creation Protocol. 1. Choose the final scene. Do not think about how you achieved it, the means. Think about the end, the result. Focus solely on the finished product. If you want health, the scene is not the operation. The scene is you running on the beach laughing without pain. If you want a partner, the scene is a Sunday morning, having breakfast together, feeling the heat of their hand. 2. Add the 5 senses. Enter the scene. Do not see it on a mental screen. Get inside your avatar's body. Sight. What colors do you see? Make them bright. Hearing. What sounds are there? The sea, laughter, traffic, a specific voice. Touch. This is vital. Touch something in your imagination. Touch your partner's hand. Touch the steering wheel. Touch the signed contract. Feel the temperature and texture. Touch is the sense of reality. Smell to taste. What does success smell like? Expensive coffee, perfume, mountain air. 3. The emotional tonality. How do you feel in that memory? Do not look for explosive euphoria, shouting about the lottery. That is unstable. Look for the emotion of relief and naturalness. The relief of, finally it's done, the problems are over. The naturalness of course it's mine, it's normal. When a memory feels natural, the subconscious swallows it without chewing. It becomes part of your internal map. When you inhabit this memory with sensory richness, You are convincing your nervous system that the event has already taken place in your 3D experience. The reticular activating system, your biological GPS. When you install this memory of the future, you activate a biological mechanism called the reticular activating system, RAS. The RAS is your brain's search filter. Right now, your RAS is programmed to look for threats and scarcity. That's why when you walk, you see sad faces and bills. Your brain ignores opportunities. Your brain ignores opportunities because they are not on its search list. When you implant the memory, I am successful, you reprogram the RAS. Suddenly, your brain starts scanning reality, looking for matches with that memory. You see an investment opportunity you would have ignored before. You hear a key conversation. You hear a conversation in a cafeteria that gives you the key you needed. You feel driven to call someone. You call it luck or coincidence. It is not. It is your brain automatically guiding you through the bridge of incidents so that physical reality matches internal reality. The memory acts as a magnet for your feet. The memory of the future acts as a magnet. You don't have to know the way. The memory knows the way. You just have to hold the memory, and your feet will move on their own toward it. Your subconscious will organize your behavior, your speech, and your perceptions to ensure that the physical world aligns with the mental record. The practice of nostalgia for the future. Have you ever felt nostalgia for a place you've never been? The Germans have a word for that, Fernweh. The magician deliberately cultivates a nostalgia for the future. It is a sweet and melancholy feeling of missing your future. Oh, how much I miss those breakfasts at my beach house, even if you live in a basement now. I miss that feeling of financial security. When you feel nostalgia for your future, you are bending time. You are pulling that future toward you with enormous gravitational force. Nostalgia implies that you have already lived it. It implies that it is part of your identity. You are bridging the gap through a deep emotional bond. Play with this. When you are at your boring job, sigh and say to yourself, "Wow, I remember when I worked here before setting up my empire. Those were the days when I had to put up with this boss. It seems like it was so long ago." By treating your real present as a distant past, you dissociate from it. You take energy from it. You turn it into a ghost. And at the same time, you make your future empire feel like the true current reality. You are reversing the poles. The future is real. The present is memory. By performing this flip in consciousness, you are dematerializing the unwanted present and solidifying the desired future into the here and now. The Time Traveler's Journal. Here you have a brutal practical tool. Buy yourself a journal. But you are not going to write what happened to you today. You are going to write what happened to you in your ideal future, but dated in the present. Write in the past tense. Dear Diary, today was an amazing day. We finally signed the sale of the house. You can't imagine the relief I felt when I saw the check. Then we went to celebrate with Marta at the Italian restaurant. Write with details. Write with the relaxed handwriting of someone who is not in a hurry. By writing, hand-brain connection, you are coding that reality. Your brain reads that and accepts it as a record. Your brain reads that and says, "It is written. It is a historical record. It must be true." If you do this every morning for 10 minutes, in 30 days you will have built an alternative biography so solid that your 3D reality will begin to creak and break to accommodate it. Reality hates contradiction. Vibration always wins the war. If your vibration says rich and your account says poor, structural tension will force the account to change. Vibration always wins because it is the cause. Matter is only the delayed effect. By keeping the record of your future in the past tense, you are declaring that the struggle is over and the harvest has already begun. Overcoming the feeling of lying. Your logical ego is going to hate this chapter. It's going to scream at you, "You're crazy, you're hallucinating." You're writing lies in a notebook while your life falls apart. You have to be prepared for this battle. The ego is the guardian of the linear prison, Chapter 1. Its job is to keep you in the consensual reality. When the ego screams lie, you respond calmly. The truth is what I decide is true. My imagination is the cause of reality, not the reflection of it. I am not lying. I am pre-paving. Think of an architect. Before the building exists, the architect draws it. Is the architect lying because the ground is empty? No, he is planning. If someone goes to the empty ground and tells him, "You're crazy, there's no building here, your drawing is a lie," the architect laughs. He knows that the drawing is the true reality and that the physical building is only a matter of time, lag. You are the architect. Your memory of the future is the blueprint of your life. Do not let the workers, your ego, your friends, your circumstances, tell you that the plan is false just because they have not yet laid the bricks. Trust your blueprint more than the empty lot. The building must appear because the plan exists and the command has been given. Hold your vision steady against the mockery of the senses. Identity teleportation. Remembering the future is not just about remembering things, cars, houses. It is, above all, remembering who you are. Remember your future self. How does he walk? How does he speak? How does he breathe? Does that you of the future get offended by nonsense? Is he afraid of others' opinions? Does he walk hunched over? No. Your future self is confident, magnetic, calm, and generous. The most powerful exercise is bringing the avatar. In a difficult situation, a negotiation, a fight, stop and ask yourself, how would my future self remember that he handled this situation? Immediately the answer comes to you. Your wisdom speaks from the end. My future self didn't shout. My future self smiled, kept quiet, and left with dignity. Do that. In the moment you act as your future self, you collapse time. You bring that timeline to the now. You become him. And because you are him, you have what he has. You cannot have the king's reward acting as a beggar. Remember who you are. The memory of health. This is vital for those seeking physical healing. If you are sick, your constant memory is the pain, the diagnosis, the fear. You have to build a memory of health. Do not remember how you were before getting sick. That is nostalgia for the past and brings sadness. Remember how you will be after healing. See the finished result. Visualize yourself doing that activity you cannot do now. Climbing a mountain, running. Feel the sweat. Feel the strength in your muscles. Feel the air in your lungs. Repeat that scene until it is a familiar memory. I remember when I healed. It was a miracle. The doctors couldn't explain it. Implant that memory in your cells. Your body, which is an obedient biomachine, will start receiving instructions from that memory. The boss says we are climbing a mountain. We need to repair this tissue to climb the mountain. The placebo effect is, in essence, a memory of the future accepted by the body as real. You are your own placebo. Use your power to heal. The confidence of the time traveler. When you have successfully implanted the memory, something wonderful happens. Anxiety disappears. You are no longer worried about if it's going to happen. You know it's going to happen because in your mind, it already happened. It's like watching a movie you've already seen. You know the ending, so you are at peace now. You know the hero is in danger in scene 5, but you don't get scared because you remember that in scene 10, he is safe and triumphant. You live your life with that superior tranquility. When a problem arises, lack of money, crisis, you smile and say, "Ah, yes, this is the part of the movie where everything seems to go wrong. I love this part because it makes the final twist more exciting." That attitude of confident spectator is the highest possible vibration. It is absolute faith, and before that faith, mountains move. You are no longer a victim of the plot. You are the author who knows exactly how the story ends. Enjoy the drama without the fear. Exercise the posthumous interview. To close this chapter, we are going to do a total immersion exercise. Imagine you are 90 years old. You are immensely successful, happy, and wise. You are sitting on your porch, rocking in a chair. A young journalist, or your great-grandchild, asks you, "Grandparent, how did you do it? Tell me the story of how you overcame that problem. Tell me how you overcame that problem in the current year, and achieved all this." Close your eyes and answer the question. Narrate your story from the end. "Well, child, it seemed hard. In that year I was scared, but then I decided to trust. That opportunity appeared out of nowhere. I took that risk and it all worked out. It was wonderful to see how the pieces fit." Tell it in the past tense. Feel the gratitude of a life well lived. Feel that your current problems are just funny anecdotes of your biography. By doing this, you shrink the problem and enlarge the dreamer. You are seeing your life from the mountaintop, not from the valley. You are free. Chapter 5. Collapsing Time, Vibratory Speed. You have all the pieces of the puzzle, but there is a question that burns on your tongue. It is the question every student of metaphysics asks in the darkness of their room when faith wavers. How long is it going to take? You do your visualizations, you do your revision, you feel good. But days go by, weeks go by, it's hard to wait, and the silence of the universe begins to make you nervous. You look at the clock, you look at the calendar. Why is it taking so long? Am I doing it wrong? Has God forgotten about me? Listen to me carefully. Time is not a measure of duration. Time is a measure of resistance. It is the distance between your doubt and your belief. In the quantum plane, time as distance does not exist. Only tuning exists. If your desire takes 1 year to arrive, it is not because the desire is far away or because it is difficult to bring. It takes 1 year because you took 1 year to release the resistance that prevented you from receiving it. You are the one setting the pace. The delay is not geographical or chronological. The delay is vibratory. Welcome to Chapter 5, Collapsing Time. Today we are going to talk about speed. We are going to discover why your biggest desires are the ones that take the longest and why it's your fault. We are going to learn to take our foot off the brake and move forward. We are going to turn years into months and months into days. The metaphysical definition of time. Forget what they taught you in school physics. In the Metaphysics of Time, the formula is this. Time. Vibratory discrepancy. Imagine a radio. You are the antenna. Your desire, the music you want to hear, is playing right now at 100.0 FM, but you are tuned to the 90.0 FM frequency. You only hear static. Time is simply the lapse it takes you to turn the dial from 90.0 to 100.0. If you turn the dial fast, time collapses and the music plays now. If you turn the dial with fear, doubting, going back and forth, it will take you years to hear the music. You control the speed. The music never moved. The music was not far away. The music was there waiting for you to match it. This means there are no big desires that take longer and small desires that take less time. For the universe, creating a coffee is just as easy as creating a billion-dollar empire. There is no degree of difficulty in miracles. The only difference is that for you, creating a coffee is easy. Low vibratory discrepancy, you believe it, it's natural. And creating an empire is difficult. High vibratory discrepancy, it seems impossible. It scares you. The time it takes for the empire to arrive is the time it takes you to naturalize the vibration of the empire. The density of emotions. Let's talk about spiritual aerodynamics. Why is it that when you are suffering, a minute feels like an hour? And why, when you are in love or having fun, an hour feels like a minute? This is not just a psychological perception. It is a clue about the density of time. It is how your soul processes the flow of the universal energy. Low vibration, fear, guilt, shame, need. It is dense, it is heavy, it is like tar. When you vibrate low, reality becomes viscous. Moving costs a lot of effort. Manifestation is extremely slow. You have to push physical matter with brute force. It is the realm of hard work. Time stretches out like a rubber band that never snaps back. High vibration, love, gratitude, joy, certainty. It is light. It is like light. It is electricity. When you vibrate high, friction disappears. Things flow. Coincidences accelerate. Time contracts. If you want to accelerate your manifestation, your priority number 1 is not to do more things, physical action, but to raise your frequency. 1 day living in gratitude collapses more time than 10 years living in effort and complaint. If you are working hard for your dream, but you feel miserable, you are stepping on the accelerator, action, and the brake, vibration, at the same time. You only burn the engine, but you do not move forward. You are spinning your wheels. The handbrake, need. Here is the cruel paradox that prevents 99% of people from manifesting quickly. The more you need it, the longer it takes to arrive. Let's analyze the vibration of need. When you say, I need this money urgently, please, let it arrive now. What signal are you emitting? You are emitting a signal of lack. You are emitting, I do not have it. Need is the confirmation of absence. The universe, which is a blind and obedient mirror, receives the "I do not have it" signal and responds to you with more reality of not having it. Furthermore, need generates anxiety. Anxiety is fear. Fear is dense vibration. It stops the entire process. Result: time stretches to infinity. It is like trying to grab a wet bar of soap by squeezing your fist hard. The harder you squeeze, need, the faster it shoots away from you. To collapse time, you have to do the most difficult thing in the world. You have to desire it, but not need it. You have to reach a point of divine indifference. I would love to have that partner. It would be wonderful. But if they don't come, I'm fine. I'm happy with myself. My life is already complete. At the exact moment you reach that vibration of, I am already complete, resistance drops to zero. The handbrake is released, and boom, the desire hits you in the face. It is finally here. It is the classic story of the person who searches desperately for a partner for years and finds no one. The day they give up, buy a cat, and decide to be happy single, they meet the love of their life in the supermarket line. Coincidence? No. Physics. They release the resistance, they collapse the time. It is a mathematical result. The secret of naturalness. Neville Goddard used to say, the time it takes an assumption to become a fact is proportional to the naturalness of being it. This is the golden key, naturalness. If I tell you, tomorrow you are going to find a 10-cent coin on the ground, do you doubt? No. Do you get anxious? No. Does it seem impossible? No, it seems natural to you. It is probable. You have no resistance. It is very likely that tomorrow you will find the coin. Manifestation time, hours. If I tell you, tomorrow you are going to win 10 million euros, what happens in your body? It tenses up. Your mind says impossible. You feel emotion, but also fear, disbelief, and shock. It is not natural for you. It is a giant event. That lack of naturalness is the temporal distance. For the 10 million to arrive, you have to become a person for whom 10 million is something normal. You have to normalize the miracle. How is it normalized? With repeated exposure in the imagination. You must inhabit that state daily. You have to live with those millions in your mind so many times. You have to spend them, count them, and smell them mentally so many times that a day comes when you say, ah yes, my millions, of course. When you lose the hysterical emotion and gain the calm of naturalness, time collapses. The universe only delivers what is natural. If you feel small and ask for something big, time will be the school that forces you to grow until you are as big as your desire. If you grow first in consciousness, time disappears. You close the gap between who you are and what you have. The manifestation is the inevitable shadow of your new and expanded internal stature. The waiting room trap. Let's go back to the concept of waiting. Waiting is a state of mind. When you are waiting, you are declaring, I don't want to be here, now. I want to be there, future. You create an internal conflict between your reality and your desire. That conflict is pure resistance. Waiting is creating time. It is pushing your good away. The more you wait, the more time you create in front of you. It is like walking toward the horizon. You never arrive. To collapse time, you have to stop waiting. You have to kill hope. Yes, you heard right. Hope is dangerous. Hope implies that the good is in the future. It places your power in a tomorrow that never comes to you. Substitute hope with certainty. He who has certainty does not wait, he knows. Imagine you have ordered a pizza. They tell you, it arrives in 30 minutes. Do you spend the 30 minutes stuck to the door, scratching the wood, sweating, shouting, where is my pizza? No, you know it's coming. You have certainty. You are at peace. So you go to the couch, put on a movie, pour yourself a drink and forget about the pizza. You enjoy the present moment. Suddenly, the doorbell rings. Ah, the pizza, that was fast. That relaxed attitude, put on the movie and forget about it, is the attitude that collapses time. It is called letting go. You release the tension. Letting go is not giving up on the desire. Letting go is giving up on the anxiety for the desire. It is trusting the delivery driver, the universe. When you trust the process, you remove the friction that slows down the delivery. You become a wide-open door instead of a barricaded wall. The universe can finally enter your life. The pressure cooker technique. How do we actively accelerate this? There is an energy alchemy technique I call the pressure cooker. It consists of containing energy instead of dissipating it. Normally, when you want something very much, you go and tell everyone. I'm going to start a business. It's going to be great. You talk. By talking, you release the internal pressure. Your brain releases dopamine. You feel relieved. But you have lost the driving force. You have opened the valve of the pot and the steam has escaped. The food, the desire, stops cooking. To accelerate, shut up. Keep your desire a secret. Hold the energy within your own sacred silence. Feel the emotion of your project, but do not vent it. Let that energy build up inside you. Let the pressure rise. That uncomfortable pressure is nuclear fuel. By not letting it out through the mouth, words, the energy seeks another exit. And the only exit left is physical manifestation. It must find a way out into the world. Condensed energy densifies into matter much faster. Silence is the magician's accelerator. Do not say, feel, do not explain. When the pressure is high enough, the world must yield and manifest your vision just to balance the force you are holding inside. Silence is the womb of every great and powerful physical creation. Quantum jumping, timeline jumping. So far we have talked about shortening linear time, but something more radical exists. The jump, the possibility of jumping from line A to line Z without going through B, C, D. This happens when there is a total and sudden identity transformation. A complete shift in the core of who you are. It is the case of the person who has a near-death experience or a deep spiritual epiphany, and the next day they are another person. Their cancer disappears. Their addiction disappears. Their poverty disappears. There was no process. There was a jump. How is a jump triggered? By dying while alive. You must let the old you go. You have to be willing to completely let go of your old identity. You cannot take your old suitcases to the new reality. If you want to jump to the line where you are a world leader, you have to let go today of all your victim complaints, all your lazy habits, all your friendships that tie you to the past. You must be born again. It is a suicide of the ego. Most people want change, but they do not want to change themselves. They want the new prize with the old personality. That requires linear time, slow evolution. If you change the personality today, revolution, time collapses to zero. You inhabit the new timeline instantly through your new state of being. The law of rhythm and intervals. Sometimes, despite everything, there are pauses. It is the law of rhythm. The tide rises and falls. Winter precedes spring. Bamboo takes 5 years to take root before growing. If you are doing everything right, high vibration, detachment, naturalness, and still don't see physical results, stay calm. Be careful. You are at the most critical moment. You are in the gestation interval. It is like the cake in the oven. You don't see it, but it is cooking. If you open the oven every 5 minutes, doubt, reality check, the cake falls. It is ruined. When it seems like nothing is happening, that is when most things are happening in the unseen. The universe is moving the heavy pieces. Your job in the interval is to maintain the faith. Do not judge by appearances. If you despair in the interval and lower your vibration, you abort the process just before birth. Quantum patience is not resignation. It is active knowing. It is watering the empty soil, knowing the seed is there. Exercise, the resistance audit. Do you want to know how much longer? Take this honest test. Close your eyes and think of your desire. That money, that partner, that health. What do you feel in your stomach? Option A, emotion, lightness, smile, peace, a sense of it's obvious. Diagnosis, low resistance. Manifestation time, imminent. Option B, a knot, tension, painful longing, envy of those who have it, doubt, could it be true? Diagnosis, high resistance. Manifestation time, distant. Your body is the clock. If you feel tension, you are breaking. How to dissolve the tension? With surrender. You must yield to the flow of life and stop the internal struggle. Tell the universe, look, I want it, but I'm tired of fighting. I hand it over to you. You do it. I'm going to dedicate myself to being happy today with what I have. That surrender is usually the trigger. When you stop trying to control the how and the when, the universe takes the wheel and floors it. Power returns to the source. The tomorrow I start trap. A final way to create unnecessary time is the postponement of your state of being. Tomorrow I will start to visualize. On Monday I will start to feel good. By saying tomorrow, you are affirming that the power is in the future. But the future does not exist. You are delaying your own happiness. You can only change your vibration now. If you don't feel rich now, you won't feel rich tomorrow, because tomorrow you will be the same you as today. Time collapse requires a spiritual urgency. Change must be today. Gratitude must be today. Identity must be assumed today. Someday is code for never. Now is code for eternity. Chapter 6. Vertical time versus horizontal time. You look around you and see a world in a rush. You see people running to the subway, eating while standing, talking at 2x speed on WhatsApp, driving with rage. You see a civilization obsessed with productivity and saving time. We invent machines to wash dishes faster, faster cars, faster internet. It is a constant race toward nowhere. And yet, paradoxically, nobody has time. The more time we save, the less we have. Anxiety is the pandemic of the 21st century, and anxiety is nothing more than an overdose of speed. We live on the surface of a powerful river that drags us toward a final waterfall, death. We swim frantically upstream trying to grab branches to slow the fall, but it is useless. The river always wins. This way of living, this desperate race from the cradle to the grave, is what we call horizontal time. It is the dimension of quantity, duration, and death. But there is another direction, a direction that most ignore until something drastic stops them. You can dive toward the bottom of the river. At the bottom of the river, the water is still. At the bottom, there is silence. At the bottom, there is no current. That direction is vertical time. It is the dimension of quality, intensity, and eternity. Welcome to Chapter 6. Today, we are going to learn to change axes. You will stop living your life as a flat line that simply ends one day. You're going to start living it as a series of deep wells of infinite experience. You're going to discover that 1 minute of vertical time is worth more than 10 years of horizontal time. It is the difference between surviving and truly being. By sinking into the depth of the present, you touch the power that moves the entire universe. Chronos versus Kairos, the two gods. The ancient Greeks, who were much wiser than us in these arts, had two different words for time. We, in our linguistic poverty, only have one. They distinguished between Chronos and Kairos. Chronos, the tyrant, is horizontal time. It is the time of the clock. It is sequential, quantitative, and devouring. It is the god who eats his children. Chronos asks you, how long did you take? What time is it? How much life do you have left? In Chronos, you are a slave. You are always late. You always lack something. In Chronos, you age and die. It is the dimension of survival. Kairos, the opportune moment, is vertical time. It is God's time. It is measured only in depth. It is the moment when time stops. It is that instant when you give your first kiss. It is that second when you see your child being born. It is that moment of creative inspiration where you lose track of the hours. In Kairos, you do not age. In Kairos, you are eternal. Kairos does not ask how much, it asks, with what intensity. The modern tragedy is that we try to live our spiritual, loving, and creative lives using the rules of Chronos. We want to meditate fast. We want to fall in love efficiently. We want to manifest now. We try to measure the infinite with a plastic ruler. The time magician learns to use Chronos to catch the train but lives in Kairos. The cross of reality. Visualize a cross. The horizontal bar represents the world of form, matter, and linear time, past, future. It is where your body and your ego reside. It is where you pay taxes and go to the dentist. The vertical bar represents the world of spirit, consciousness, and the eternal now. It is where your soul resides. It is your home. The point where both bars cross is you. You are the intersection. The human being is the amphibious creature designed to live in both worlds simultaneously. The problem is that 99% of people live hanging on the ends of the horizontal bar. They live lost in the past or projected into the future. They have abandoned the center of being. They have abandoned the vertical post, and without the vertical post to anchor them, horizontal life is a hell of instability. They are leaves in the wind. Living in vertical time does not mean retreating to a cave and meditating 20 hours a day. That would be abandoning the horizontal bar. Mastery consists of being in the world, but not of it. It consists of walking down the street, horizontal movement, while maintaining a deep and motionless connection with your inner self, vertical anchoring. It is walking through the market with the silence of the monk in your heart. When you achieve this, you become invulnerable. The chaos of the world spins around you, but you are still. You are the eye of the hurricane. You are still. And from that stillness, your ability to manifest multiplies because you are operating from the command center, not from the periphery. You are the source from which reality flows. By being anchored in the vertical, you dictate the terms of the horizontal. You are the sovereign of your time. The illusion of long life. Everyone wants to live many years. We are obsessed with longevity. We want to stretch the horizontal line as much as possible. But what good is a 100-year line if it is thin as a thread and grey as mist? There are people who die at 90, but who have actually only lived 5 years repeated 18 times. They have lived in automatic mode. They have lived asleep. Their life has had much duration, but zero density. On the other hand, there are people who die young or who live short lives according to Chronos, but who have lived with such intensity, passion and presence that their life experience is infinitely richer than that of the sleeping old man. They were awake. They have had little duration, but immense depth. The Metaphysics of Time proposes a change in investment. Stop worrying about how much time you have left. Start worrying about how much life you put into your time. 1 minute of total presence, looking at a flower, feeling its texture, smelling its aroma, contains more life than work. It contains more life than an entire month of routine work on autopilot. If you accumulate vertical moments, at the end of your days, you will have lived 1,000 lives in one. Death can only take away your future, horizontal. It cannot take away the moments of eternity that you have already accumulated in your soul, vertical. What you live vertically stays with you forever. It is the only real treasure you take with you. By living in depth, you defeat death every single day because you inhabit a dimension where death has no jurisdiction. You become a traveler of the eternal, gathering the gold of presence in the midst of the passing world of shadows. Entering the zone but flow. Psychologists call it flow. Athletes call it the zone. Musicians call it the duende. It is the state of vertical time applied to action. What happens when you are in the zone? You are doing something you are passionate about or that requires all your attention. Climbing a mountain, painting a picture, writing code, dancing. Your attention is completely withdrawn from the past and the future. Your I, the ego that worries, disappears. Only the action remains. The dancer becomes the dance. In that state, 5 hours can seem like 5 minutes, or 5 minutes can seem like an eternity. You have transcended Chronos. You have entered the divine rhythm of creation. Why is this important for manifestation? Because in the zone there is no resistance. In the zone you are directly connected with infinite intelligence. The best ideas, the solutions to your problems, the spontaneous healings occur in the zone. They never occur while you are worriedly looking at the clock. It is a sacred state. Your daily goal must be to maximize the time you spend in the zone. Look for activities that absorb you, and if your work is boring, verticalize it. How? By paying extreme attention to detail. If you have to sweep the floor, do not do it thinking about finishing. Do it as if it were a Zen dance. Observe the dust, feel the broom. By paying total attention, you turn a profane task into a sacred task. You open the vertical door. Any action, no matter how simple, becomes a portal to the infinite when performed with absolute presence. You stop being a worker of time and become an artist of the moment. Reality begins to yield to your focused and peaceful command. The wormhole of boredom. The enemy of vertical time is boredom. Boredom is simply the horizontal mind saying, "Nothing interesting is happening here. I want to go to the future. I want entertainment." When you get bored, you take out your phone. You look for quick dopamine. You flee. The magician does the opposite. When he feels boredom, he goes deeper into it. When he feels boredom, he delves further into it. If you are waiting in a waiting room and you get bored, do not escape. Look at the wall. Look at the texture of the paint. Listen to the hum of the air conditioner. Feel your breath. If you cross the barrier of boredom through intense observation, suddenly reality opens up to you. You start to notice an underlying peace. You start to notice the beauty of the ordinary. You have passed through the wormhole. You have turned a dead moment into a moment of deep meditation. Where others see emptiness, you find fullness. That ability to find fullness in nothingness is the basis of spiritual and material wealth. If you can be happy looking at a wall, you are free. Nothing external controls you. You no longer depend on the next event to feel alive. You have discovered that life is not in the what, but in the here. You are the source of your own stimulation. By being satisfied in the now, you become an irresistible magnet for abundance. The micro-descent technique. You don't need to retreat to the Himalayas. You can practice vertical time in the office. Use the micro-descent technique. Several times a day, when you feel that stress, horizontality, is dragging you away. Stop. Stop what you are doing physically for 3 seconds. Fall. Visualize your mind dropping into your heart. Visualize your mind dropping from your head to your heart or your belly, like a stone falling into a well. 3. Feel gravity. Feel the weight of your body in the chair. 4. Expand. Listen to the most distant sounds. Open your peripheral vision. 5. Return. Continue working. This only lasts 10 seconds, but it changes everything. In those 10 seconds, you have cut the stress cable. You have reset your nervous system. You have remembered that you are an eternal being having a human experience, not a stressed employee struggling to survive. Doing this 20 times a day changes your biology and your destiny. It keeps you anchored in the vertical. You are in control. The myth of time saving. Technology sold us the promise that it would set us free. Use this email and you won't have to write letters. You'll save hours. Use this car and you'll arrive sooner. But are we freer? No. We are busier. Why? Because the time we save in Chronos, we immediately fill again with more Chronos trash. We are addicted to the horizontal. If you save an hour, you don't use it to meditate or watch a sunset. You use it to watch more Netflix or respond to more emails. The problem is not the lack of time. It is the lack of valuation of depth. Stop trying to save time. You cannot save time. You cannot put it in a bank. Time passes just the same. You must savor it instead. The only thing you can do is savor time. Change the mentality of efficiency for the mentality of experience. Do not eat the apple fast so you can get back to work. Eat the apple, feeling how every flavor cell explodes in your mouth. That minute of the apple, lived vertically, regenerates you more than an hour of sleep. It is real life. Verticality and youth, biohacking. Here is a secret for enlightened vanity. Living in vertical time rejuvenates. Accelerated aging is caused in large part by oxidative stress. Stress is resistance to the present, wanting to be somewhere else. When you live horizontally, your body is in a constant state of alert, fight or flight, preparing for imaginary dangers. This consumes your telomeres and ages your cells. When you live vertically, acceptance presence, your body enters a state of homeostasis and repair. Masters who live in the now often look younger than they are. They have a special glow. Time does not wear them out because they do not carry time on them. They are light and free. They let go of the past every night and are born again every morning. If you want beauty and health, stop dragging the corpse of your years. Be new in every instant. Your cells respond to the absence of psychological time by functioning at their maximum potential. Presence is the ultimate anti-aging treatment. It is the fountain of youth, manifesting from the vertical. Let's go back to the creation of reality. Why do your visualizations fail sometimes? Because you do them from the horizontal. You sit down to visualize, but your mind is saying, I have to do this fast so it works, and then I have to go make dinner. You are treating magic as just another task on your to-do list. That is just noise. To manifest, you must first enter the vertical. You must stop the world. You must enter that state of deep silence where you forget your name and your address. From that fertile void, You launch the image of your desire. That image falls into the quantum field without resistance, like a stone in a calm lake. It creates the ripples. It generates perfect waves that reach the ends of the universe. A 1-minute visualization done in a vertical state is more powerful than 1 hour of affirmations repeated in a horizontal, anxious state. Depth kills duration. You don't need a lot of time to create your dream. You need a lot of presence. Quality is the law of creation. The sacred encounter. The next time you talk to someone, try this. Normally when we talk, we are in horizontal mode. We wait for the other to finish so we can speak. We judge what they say. We look at the phone. Try listening in vertical. Look the person in the eyes. Imagine they are the only person in the universe. Imagine it's the last time you'll see them. Listen not only to their words but to their soul. Feel their presence. Make a void inside yourself to receive the other. Something magical will happen. The conversation will become deep instantly. The other person will feel seen and loved like never before. A connection of souls will be created. It is a sacred and powerful moment. That person will leave the encounter thinking you are the most charismatic person in the world. Charisma is not speaking well. Charisma is total presence. Charisma is giving your vertical time to another human being. It is the greatest gift you can offer. By being fully present, you heal others and you heal yourself. The death of haste. Haste is a form of violence against the soul. Haste tells the present moment, you are not enough. You are an obstacle. It is an aggression against life. Eliminate haste from your life. Yes, walk fast if necessary. But do not run inside. Keep your center motionless even if your legs move fast. Be the master of your own pace. Be the eye of the hurricane. When you eliminate internal haste, you become sovereign. You become regal. Kings do not run. Kings do not look at the clock with panic. Kings decree time. By being calm, you command the field. By being in no hurry, you arrive exactly when you are supposed to. You have conquered the tyrant Chronos. Chapter 7: The Timeline Jump. Parallel Realities. Have you ever had the strange feeling that reality has subtly changed overnight? Have you ever left your keys on the table, turned around, and when you looked again, they were gone, only to appear hours later in an impossible place? Have you ever remembered an event one way but your partner or friends swear it happened differently? Psychiatry calls this false memory. Metaphysics calls it a quantum jump. What you have experienced are glitches or failures in continuity, small proofs that you have slipped from one timeline to another without realizing it. Welcome to Chapter 7. Today, we are going to leave behind the idea that you live in one solid and fixed world. Today, we will embrace the dizzying truth that quantum physics has been suggesting for decades. There are infinite versions of Earth. There are infinite versions of your life. There is a version where you took that plane. There is a version where you didn't. There is a version where you are sick. And there is a version where you are healthy. Your job is not to fix the sick version. Your job is to jump to the healthy version. You are a traveler between probabilities, and your consciousness is the vehicle. By changing your internal frequency, you change the physical world you inhabit. You don't have to wait for things to change, you just have to move to the world where they already are. The space of variations. Imagine entering a gigantic clothing store. There are thousands of suits. Beggar suits, king suits, astronaut suits, sick suits. All the suits are already made. They are hanging on the hangers. You don't have to sew the king's suit. It already exists. You just have to take off the beggar's suit and put it on. The universe works the same way. Physicists and mystics call this the space of variations. It is an infinite information structure, containing all possible scripts of all possible lives. Everything that could happen is already happening somewhere in the multiverse. This is fundamental. You do not create reality, you choose reality. You are the one selecting the current experience. When you say, I want to create wealth, you are using imprecise terminology. Technically, you are saying, I want to tune into timeline 284902, where my self is already rich. That rich self already exists. It has its own memories, its own house, and its own routine. It is waiting for your consciousness to inhabit it. It is ready for you. The cosmic radio metaphor. Let's go back to the radio, because it is the most perfect analogy. In the air that surrounds you right now, there are hundreds of radio and TV waves. They are passing through your body, the BBC, CNN, classical radio, heavy metal. They all exist simultaneously and occupy the same space. They don't crash because they are on different frequencies. You only perceive one, the one you are tuned into. If you are on 90.0 FM, you hear crisis and poverty. You believe that crisis and poverty is the only truth because it is all you hear. You shout, "The world is horrible." But next to you, someone tuned to 105.0 FM hears opportunity and success. For them, the world is wonderful. Who is right? Both and neither. Both are experiencing a valid timeline. The timeline jump consists simply of turning the dial. You don't try to change the song on 90.0 FM, that is fighting reality and it's impossible. You simply stop listening to it and move to 105.0 FM. You change your focus and your internal alignment. The great error of humanity is trying to change their current line from within. They try to fix their toxic partner. They try to fix the country's economy. That is like trying to get inside the radio to change what the announcer says. It doesn't work. You have to change stations. You have to move to a reality where the world already fits you. You don't change people, you change people. This is the most controversial and powerful part of the jump. What happens to other people when you jump? Suppose you have a tyrannical and abusive boss. You decide to make a quantum jump to a reality of respect and peace at work. The next day, you go to work and your boss is kind, or you are transferred, or he resigns. What happened? Did you brainwash your boss? No. You have jumped to a timeline where that version of your boss is kind or does not exist in your environment. Remember, there are infinite versions of your boss. There is the tyrant boss. There is the kind boss. There is the indifferent boss. All are him, but they are different variants. When you change your frequency, you stop vibrating as a victim and vibrate as a sovereign. You become invisible to the tyrant version of your boss. You can no longer coexist in the same line. Reality reorganizes itself. Either your boss magically changes personality, or the boss disappears from your life. This frees you from the burden. It frees you from the responsibility of changing others. Leave others in peace. If you don't like how they behave, change your own line. Move to a world where they behave differently. It is magical solipsism. The world is a reflection of your state. If you clean the mirror, the reflection smiles. You are the source of all your interactions. How is the jump performed? The mechanism of choice. The jump does not happen in a laboratory. It happens in your mind, usually in the moments of choice. Every time you make a decision, the universe bifurcates. But the decision is not just physical. Do I eat pizza or salad? It is vibratory. Do I react with fear or with faith? Your reaction is the steering wheel of your destiny. Imagine you are at a crossroads. An unexpected bill for $1,000 arrives. Here a bifurcation opens. Line A, fear reaction. You get angry. You call your friend to complain. You don't sleep. Consequence, you anchor yourself in the scarcity line. You attract more bills. The problem grows. You stay in the same old loop of despair. Line B, power reaction. You breathe. You say, "Thank you, money, for paying this." You assume there is provision. You stay calm. Consequence, you jump to the solution line. Extra money appears. The bill was an error. The jump occurs at the moment of the reaction. If you react the same as always, you stay on the same line as always. If you react differently, non-logical reaction, elevated reaction, you break the pattern. Breaking the pattern is breaking the chain of the timeline. You derail toward a new track. The magician is constantly jumping tracks. Every time he feels fear and chooses love, he jumps. It is cosmic parkour. You move between worlds with every choice. The personal Mandela effect. When you start jumping consciously, you will notice glitches. They are the personal Mandela effect. Things that change places. Buildings that were always there, but you would swear were not there yesterday. People who change character radically. Conversations that you remember and others do not. They are signs of the transition. Do not be afraid. You are not going crazy. They are confirmation signals from the universe's GPS. It is telling you, recalculating route, welcome to the new location. When you see these glitches, rejoice. Say, I have jumped. Reality is plastic and is molding itself around me. If you ignore these changes, you anchor yourself back down. If you try to rationalize them, I must have a bad memory, you anchor yourself again in the old rigid reality. If you celebrate them as magic, you give the universe permission to be more magical. Your acknowledgement solidifies the new timeline. You are a traveler between worlds, and these shifts are proof of your successful navigation. Technique: the two-cup method. There is a famous technique in quantum jumping circles to formalize the jump. It is a ritual to tell your subconscious that you are moving. You need 2 glasses and water. Glass 1, current reality. Fill it with water. Paste a label describing your current problem. X, unemployed and stressed. This represents your starting point. Glass 2, desired reality. Leave it empty. Paste a label describing the reality you want to jump to. X, ideal job and financial peace. The jump. Sit down. Look at glass 1. Feel the emotions of that reality for the last time. Say goodbye to it. Thank it for what it taught you. The transfusion. Pour the water from glass 1 to glass 2. Listen to the sound. Visualize that the energy is being transformed. The assumption. Now look at glass 2, full. The water is the same, but the container, the label, reality, has changed. The ingestion. Drink the water from glass 2. While you drink it, feel that you are swallowing the new reality. Feel that vibration enter your cells. Say, it is done. I have jumped. Destruction. Throw away the label from glass 1. This ritual seems silly to the intellect, but it is pure hypnosis for the subconscious. You are doing a physical act that symbolizes a dimensional change. From that moment on, act as if you were in line B. You are a new person in a new world. The Doppler of destiny. When you jump lines, you often experience what I call the Doppler of destiny. Just as the sound of an ambulance changes as it approaches and recedes, your reality changes tone. At the beginning of the jump, you may feel a period of chaos. It is the turbulence of the track change. Your old life falls apart to make way for the new one. You lose friends, you lose your job, you move. If you panic, you go back to the old line. If you stand firm and say, this is the controlled collapse of my old structure to build the palace, you complete the jump. Many jumpers stay in limbo because they are afraid of the chaos. Chaos is good. Static order is death, chaos is reordering. Trust the turbulence. It is a sign that you are gaining altitude. You are leaving the gravity of the old world behind. Maintain your vision, and do not look down at the wreckage of the past. The universe is clearing the ground for your new creation. The more intense the collapse, the more magnificent the new structure will be in your life. Identity is the flight ticket. You cannot travel to the millionaire's timeline with the passport of a poor person. They won't let you through the vibratory customs. To jump, you have to change your identity. Chapter 6, before the scenario changes. This is the hard part. You have to be the king in exile. You have to feel like a king even if you sleep on the floor. If you maintain the identity of a king, the universe will inevitably transport you to the palace, because a king on the floor is a vibratory anomaly that the system must correct. The universe seeks coherence. Identity. Reality. If you change your identity, the universe pushes you to the timeline that matches that specific identity. It is like density. If you are a cork, high vibration, you cannot stay at the bottom of the sea, low line. Physics pushes you up. Become a cork and you will rise. Become lead and you will sink. You don't have to swim, you have to be. Your state of being is the most powerful engine in the multiverse. Be the change you seek. Technique: meeting the quantum double. Physicist Jean-Pierre Garnier-Mallet talks about the double. In simple terms, there is a version of you that has already solved the problem you have. That is your quantum double, yourself from the other line. You can communicate with him to ask for data. This is done in the hypnagogic state just before sleeping. It is a sacred bridge. Relax in bed. Visualize that you meet your successful self in a quiet place. Observe him. How does he dress? How does he smile? Ask him, how did you do it? What is the next step? Do not expect words. Expect a download of information, a package of intuition. Ask him to pass his state of being to you. Merge with him in your mind. Imagine that you merge with him, that you put on his body like a suit. Fall asleep with that feeling of fusion. By doing this, you are downloading the files of the success timeline into your current mind. The next day, you will have ideas that are not yours. They are his. You will have impulses. Follow them. They lead you to his line. The illusion of continuity. Your brain is designed to hide the jumps from you. Your brain wants coherence. If you jump lines, your brain rewrites your memories so that it seems you were always here. That's why it's so hard to notice big changes. When you heal from an incurable disease, 2 weeks later your brain tells you, well, maybe the diagnosis was wrong. It rationalizes the miracle to maintain normal continuity. Do not let your brain do that. Keep a journal. Chapter 4. Document where you were and where you are. Acknowledge the jumps. A month ago I was crying for money. Today I have plenty. I have jumped. By acknowledging it, you solidify your power. You become a conscious traveler. The collective jump. What about the world? Can we jump to a timeline where there are no wars or pandemics? Yes, but you don't do it by convincing 8 billion people. You do it by jumping to a version of Earth that is more peaceful. In the multiverse, there are Earths that destroy themselves and Earths that prosper. Your vibration decides which one you live in. It may seem selfish, but it is the only way to help. You cannot save people who choose to stay in the line of destruction. They have free will to experience that. But you can move to the line of peace, and from there, vibratorily invite others to join. Be the anchor of the new reality. Your light becomes a beacon for those lost in the storm. The more people jump to the line of love, the more real that line becomes in the collective consciousness. You vote for reality with your vibration. You are a pioneer of the new earth. By changing your world, you contribute to the shifting of the whole. Your personal peace is a political and spiritual act of the highest order. The ethics of the dimensional traveler. Now that you know you can jump, be careful with dimensional tourism. Do not jump on a whim. Do not jump to escape yourself. Because there is a golden rule. You take yourself wherever you go. If you jump to a line where you are rich, but you still have the mentality of a miserable person, you will lose the wealth in that new line too, or you will be a miserable rich person. The external jump, circumstances, must be accompanied by the internal jump, consciousness. If not, the universe will spit you back to the starting square. Do not seek paradise in another dimension. Build paradise in your soul and the right dimension will find you. You are the center of your world. Chapter 8, Quantum Patience, the Art of Not Waiting. There is a word that you probably hate with all your soul. It is the word that your parents, your teachers, and your friends tell you when you are desperate. The word is patience. When you hear, have patience, what your brain interprets is, sit down, shut up, endure the pain, suffer in silence, and wait for destiny to give you a crumb. They have sold us patience as the virtue of the donkey that endures the load without complaining, as a passive resignation before the slowness of life. I want you to erase that definition from your mental dictionary. That patience is for slaves. Today we are going to talk about quantum patience. Quantum patience is not enduring, it is not suffering, and above all it is not waiting. It is a vibratory state of aggressive certainty. It is the calm of the lion that sees the gazelle and knows it is already his, even if he still has to run 10 meters to catch it. The lion is not anxious, he is focused. He does not doubt. He executes. Welcome to Chapter 8. Today we solve the great paradox. Today we are going to resolve the greatest paradox of manifestation. For something to arrive fast, you must stop waiting for it. While you wait for it, you push it away. In the moment you stop waiting for it, because you feel it is already yours, it collapses into your reality. We are going to learn the art of killing the wait. The metaphysics of waiting, why it is poison. Let's analyze the vibration of the word waiting. Imagine that you are at the bus stop, you are waiting for the bus. What does that imply? 1. Absence. The bus is not here. 2. Dependence. You have no control over when it arrives. You depend on the driver or the traffic. 3. Dissatisfaction. You do not want to be here. You want the destination. The present moment is an error that must be corrected. When you apply this vibration to your desires, I am waiting for my healing, I am waiting for my soulmate, you are sending a very clear signal to the quantum field. I do not have it. Plus it does not depend on me. Plus I am not happy now. The universe receives that signal and responds. The universe, which is a feedback system, says, understood. The master declares absence and dependence. We will keep the desire away to perpetuate the state of waiting that he seems so interested in. Do you see it? Waiting is creating time. Waiting is manufacturing distance. The more intensely you wait, the wider the gap becomes. Anxiety is the cement with which you build the wall of delay. Quantum patience is the opposite. It is the attitude of, it is already done. If you already have the money in the bank, even if it is a transfer that takes 24 hours to reflect, are you waiting for the money with anxiety? No. You are calm. You make plans. You spend mentally. You know it is a technical fact that tranquility eliminates time. The art of not waiting consists of living in the state of the transfer completed before the balance is updated. You inhabit the result before the physical evidence catches up. This is the secret of those who manifest with speed and ease. They have moved past the wait. The quantum Zeno effect, the anxious observer. Quantum physics has a phenomenon called the Zeno effect. Basically, it says that if you observe an unstable system, like a radioactive atom, too frequently, you freeze its evolution. Continuous measurement prevents the system from changing. A watched pot never boils. This is literal physics. Your attention acts as a freezing agent. When you are obsessed with your manifestation and check reality every 5 minutes, did he call yet? Did Bitcoin go up yet? Is the pain gone yet? You are the anxious observer. Your observation is charged with doubt and fear. You are collapsing the wave function over and over again into the state of nothing has happened. You are resetting the cooking process. You are digging up the seed every morning to see if it has roots. By doing so, you kill the plant. Quantum patience requires you to withdraw your fiscalizing gaze. You have to stop micromanaging the universe. You have to give space for reality to reconfigure itself in the dark. It needs room. Transformation occurs in the hidden. The butterfly is made in the cocoon. If you open the cocoon early to see how it's going, you kill the butterfly. Trust the darkness. Trust the silence. Stop measuring. Stop checking. Assume that the work is being done and occupy your mind with something else. Let the universe do its part now. Occupying the interval, the strategy of distraction. So what do we do while time, resistance, collapses? If we cannot wait, what do we do? Live. You have to occupy the interval with high-quality life. Imagine you go to a luxury restaurant. You order your favorite dish. The waiter leaves. You know it will take 20 minutes to prepare it. What do you do in those 20 minutes? Do you stare? Do you stay staring at the kitchen door with bulging eyes, hitting the table, shouting, "Where is my food?" No, that would be crazy, and it would ruin your dinner. What you do is enjoy the wine. You talk with your companion. You laugh. You observe the decoration. You are so entertained living the present moment that suddenly he appears. Suddenly the waiter appears. "Here you go, sir," and you say, "Oh, so fast I didn't even notice." That is the goal. That the manifestation surprises you because you were too busy being happy. Your job during the interval is to distract yourself from the how and the when. But not a distraction of evasion like alcohol or Netflix. A distraction of enjoyment. Dedicate yourself to your hobbies. Dedicate yourself to serving others. Dedicate yourself to polishing your craft. When you forget about time, time disappears. If you manage to be happy without the desire during the interval, the universe understands that you no longer have resistance. It delivers it immediately. It is the supreme irony. You only get it when you prove that you can be happy without it. By releasing the need, you open the floodgates. The frequency of joy is the same frequency as the fulfilled desire. By being happy now, you become a perfect match for everything you want, and it arrives without effort. The wait is over. The law of reversed effort, the force trap. Aldous Huxley and Alan Watts talked about the law of reversed effort. When you are drowning, if you fight violently and splash around, maximum effort, you sink. If you relax and fill yourself with air, surrender, you float. In the world of the mind, effort is counterproductive. Forcing a visualization is bad, it creates more tension. Trying to believe with clenched teeth is bad. That effort is tension. Tension is a vibration of this is difficult, and if it is difficult, it takes a long time. Quantum patience is active relaxation. It is knowing that the river's current takes you to the sea. You don't have to swim, you only have to stay afloat and steer gently. Have you noticed that the best ideas come to you in the shower, or while walking, when you were not thinking about the problem? That is because you released the tension. Your desire already has its own propulsion system. You don't have to push it. Get out of the way. Your anxiety is the only obstacle. Relax and let it arrive. The mental Sabbath, the rest of God. In the mysticism of Neville Goddard, he speaks of the Sabbath. It is not the Jewish Saturday or the Christian Sunday. It is a state of consciousness. The Sabbath is the moment when you have done your imaginal work. You have visualized, you have felt the reality, and you reach a point of internal conviction. You feel that it's done. It is like when you have sex and reach orgasm. After the climax, you don't want to continue. You want to rest. You are satisfied. The seed has been planted. That rest, that feeling of work finished, is the Sabbath. You must enter your mental Sabbath. It means you no longer have to compulsively visualize every day to make it happen. You visualize for pleasure, to remember where you are going, but not out of a need to create. It is already created. Now you just walk toward it. If you catch yourself worried, tell yourself, why do I worry if it is already done? I am in my Sabbath. The universe is working the night shift for me. Rest in the certainty. It is finished. The paradox of importance, Transurfing. Vadim Zeland in Transurfing talks about importance. When you give too much importance to something, a goal, a person, you create an excessive potential. It is like tightening a guitar string too much. It breaks. The universe is a system that seeks balance. If you generate an emotional peak, balance forces will appear to fix it. If you generate a peak of emotional tension, this is vital to me, the universe will generate balancing forces to eliminate that tension. And what is the fastest way to eliminate the tension? By taking away the object of desire. If you do not have the object, you stop tensing over it. Therefore, wanting too much is failing. That is why wanting something too much is the best way to not get it. Quantum patience requires lowering the importance. You have to trivialize your goal. I want to be a millionaire, yes, but it's not a matter of life or death. It's just a game. If it happens, great. If not, also great. I'm going to play to win, but without a heart attack. This attitude of I care but I don't care is magical. It makes you invulnerable. It allows you to move with lightness. And curiously, the universe loves to give toys to those who play with lightness, and it flees from those who grab the toys with desperation. Treat your desire as if it were ordering a coffee, not a heart transplant. The package delivery technique. When you feel that impatience is burning you, visualize this. You have a box in your hands. Inside is your problem or your desire. Visualize that in front of you there is an immense being of light, or a current of golden energy, the universe, God. Extend your arms and hand over the box. Give it away completely to the source of all. Say, take it. This is too heavy for me. I don't know how to solve it. I don't know when the best moment is. You are the expert in times and forms. I hand it over to you. Surprise me. And visualize that the being takes the box away. Now your hands are empty. Feel the physical lightness. Shake your hands. Feel the relief in your body. Now if you worry again, remember, no, wait, I don't have the problem. The manager of the universe has it. If I worry, I am stealing the box from him again. It would be rude. Trust in the delegation. It is out of your hands, which means it is in the best hands possible. Relax and enjoy your day while the delivery is prepared. Signs that you have entered quantum patience. How do you know if you are doing it right? It is not because the desire appears instantly. It is because your suffering disappears instantly. You feel a shift. 1. You sleep well. You no longer stay awake, calculating how it will happen. 2. The mirror does not scare you. You look at your current reality and you do not react. You look at your current reality, poverty, loneliness, and you do not react. You smile and think, enjoy while you can, old reality, because you have little left. 3. You feel gratitude without a reason. You are washing the dishes and you feel happy. 4. You lose the need to talk about it. The steam stays in the pot. You are satisfied. When you reach this state, paradoxically, you often forget about your desire for a few hours or days. And it is exactly in that moment of forgetting, total letting go, when the phone rings. The universe was waiting for you to look away to put the gift on the table. When you are no longer watching the door, the guest finally enters. The myth of the when. The when is a trap of the ego. The ego lives in Chronos, linear time. It wants dates, it wants guarantees. But the soul lives in Kairos, opportune time. Sometimes, if your desire arrived on Tuesday as you want, it would be a disaster. Perhaps on Tuesday you win the lottery, but on Wednesday you get hit by a car because you were not ready. The universe sees the whole picture. It sees the traffic map of all the timelines. Perhaps it is delaying the money because it is waiting for you to meet a key partner next month. Perhaps it is delaying the partner because that person still has to finish a karmic relationship to be free for you. It is a divine and precise orchestration. The delay is never a denial. The delay is protection and preparation. If you trust the infinite intelligence, you trust its calendar. To say, I want it now, is arrogance. It is saying, I know more than the universe. To say, I want it at the perfect moment, is wisdom. Quantum patience accepts that God's time is perfect. Always. The in the meantime as training. Look at the waiting time not as a void but as a gym. If you want to be a successful CEO, but now you are an employee, the time it takes for the promotion to arrive is your training time. Are you acting like a CEO now? Do you have the discipline, the emotional intelligence, and the image of a CEO? You must be the person first. If the universe gave you the position today, would you hold it or would it crush you? Use the in the meantime to prepare yourself. Study, improve, get in shape. Prepare the container so that when the rain of gold falls, the glass does not break. If you prepare with joy, time flies, and when you are ready, the opportunity appears. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. By focusing on your growth, you shift your frequency from waiting to becoming, and as you become the person who naturally has the desire must manifest to match your new stature. The wait is just the time required for your internal transformation. Be ready. Exercise the day of indifference. Tomorrow you are going to practice divine indifference. You are going to choose your most burning desire, the one that has you anxious. And you are going to say, today I take a vacation from wanting this. During 24 hours, you forbid yourself to try to manifest it. You forbid yourself to visualize it. You forbid yourself to worry. You tell yourself, today I don't care if it comes or not. Today I am going to dedicate myself to eating something delicious, going for a walk, and watching a movie. Let go of the rope in the tug of war. Drop the rope to the ground. You will see what an immense relief it is. You will recover tons of energy. You will feel truly free. And the curious thing is that, by letting go of the rope, often the universe, which was pulling on the other side, falls toward you. Do this every time anxiety chokes you. Take a vacation from your desire. This break allows the energy to settle and the manifestation to reach you without the interference of your desperate grasp. Enjoy. Chapter 9. The Sovereign Self, Mastering the Internal State. Imagine a kingdom without a king. The throne is empty. In the streets, anarchy reigns. Merchants scream, thieves steal, and soldiers desert. Every time the wind blows, the people panic. Every time a rumor of war arrives, the economy collapses. It is a reactive, weak, and chaotic kingdom. That kingdom is your current life. It is messy. And the empty throne is your mind. You have allowed your kingdom to be ruled by usurpers. Fear, doubt, the opinion of others, and the television news. They sit on your throne in turns, dictating how you should feel today. If your boss yells at you, fear takes the throne and you feel small. You have lost your inner center of power. If your partner leaves you, sadness takes the throne and you feel useless. You are a slave to circumstances. You are a cork floating in the middle of a storm, rising and falling as the waves dictate. But the metaphysics of time does not work for slaves. Time, that wild beast we have analyzed, only bows before a real authority. It yields. To collapse time, to jump timelines, to revise the past, you need more than techniques. You need rank, you need to sit on the throne. Welcome to Chapter 9, The Sovereign Self. Today we are going to celebrate your coronation. We are going to awaken the immutable presence that lives behind your eyes. We are establishing a benevolent state. We will establish a benevolent dictatorship inside your skull, where you and only you decide what is true and what is a lie. You are the final judge of your reality. No external force has the right to dictate your internal state without your explicit consent. Today you reclaim your crown and begin to rule your world with absolute authority. Who is the sovereign, the observer? First, we must identify who you really are. You are not your name, you are not your profession, you are not your personal history. All of those are costumes you wear on the stage of time. The sovereign is the silent observer. It is that part of you that realizes you are thinking. It is the witness. Do the test, say mentally, I am afraid. Who is the one who hears that phrase? There are two entities there, the voice that says, I am afraid, the ego character, and the presence that hears the voice, the sovereign consciousness. The ego lives in horizontal time. It is born and dies. It is afraid. The sovereign lives in vertical time. It is eternal. It cannot be damaged. The problem is that you have spent your whole life identified with the character. You believe you are the movie. The sovereign knows that he is the screen. In an action movie, there can be fire, explosions, and murders. But does the screen burn? Does the screen bleed? No. The screen holds the movie, but it is not affected by the movie. Your job is to stop believing you are the movie, your 3D problems, and remember that you are the screen, consciousness. From the position of the screen, you have the power to change the movie. From the position of the character, you can only suffer the plot. You must shift your identity from the transient to the eternal, from effect to cause. The state of being, your only real property. In the physical world, we believe we possess things, houses, cars, relationships. But time teaches us that we possess nothing. Everything is lost, broken, or dies. The only thing that truly belongs to you, the only inalienable property of the sovereign, is his internal state. The state is the sum total of your vibration and beliefs. The state is the sum of your beliefs, your emotions, and your vibration at any given moment. You cannot always control what happens outside, at least not immediately, but you have absolute sovereignty over how you react inside. The sovereign has a golden rule. My inner world determines my outer world, never the other way around. The victim says, I am sad because it is raining. The exterior dictates the interior. The sovereign says, I am happy, therefore the rain is a blessing. The interior dictates the interpretation of the exterior. This flow reversal is the key to power. If you need the world to change for you to feel good, you are an emotional beggar. If you feel good without a reason and force the world to change to match your well-being, you are a king. Mastering the internal state means that you can maintain the frequency of abundance while walking through a neighborhood in ruins. It means maintaining the frequency of health even while you are given an adverse medical diagnosis. That ability to dissociate your emotion from your environment is the mark of the master. It is the ultimate freedom. When you no longer allow the shadows of the world to dim your inner light, you have conquered the physical plane. You are no longer a reactor. You are a generator. You are the source from which your experience flows. Immunity to chaos, the eye of the hurricane. Imagine a hurricane. On the periphery, winds of 300 km/h destroy everything. But in the center, in the eye, there is a deathly calm. The sun shines, birds fly, the sovereign lives in the eye. When your life falls apart, and sometimes it will as part of the shift of timelines, the sovereign does not panic. He remains very still. The ego screams, everything is ending, what are we going to do? The sovereign observes from the throne and says, interesting. The old structures are falling. This means the new is arriving. Stay calm. We continue vibrating in success. This stability terrifies the demons of doubt. When chaos sees you are unfazed, it loses its power. Remember, drama feeds on your reaction. If you do not react, if you do not give your emotional energy to the problem starves to death. Imperturbability is not coldness, it is energetic economy. It is knowing that your energy is too valuable to spend on hysteria. The king does not go down to fight with the drunks in the tavern. The king stays in the palace and sends an order. Do not go down to fight with your 3D problems. Stay in your 4D consciousness and broadcast the solution. Be the motionless point around which the world revolves. Your silence is more powerful than any argument. Your peace is the weapon that dissolves the walls of every conflict you face. The royal decree, the word that creates. How does a sovereign speak? He never begs. He never asks for permission. He never complains. The sovereign decretes. In the Bible it is said, "Thou shalt also decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee." Job 22:28. The word decree here means command. When you say, "I hope this goes well," you are vibrating in doubt. When you say, "I am the one who is successful in this," you are vibrating in law. You must watch your internal dialogue with the severity of a royal guard. Every time you say, "I am stupid, I am poor, what bad luck I have," you are signing royal decrees against yourself. You are the one sabotaging your own authority and power. And the universe, your faithful servant, says, "As you command, your majesty, here is more bad luck as ordered." The sovereign understands that his word is law. That is why he speaks little, and when he speaks, he does so with constructive intention. Immediately cancel any victim thought. You must replace it with the higher truth. I have no money, ego fact. My provision is infinite and is on its way with sovereign truth. Hold the truth until the fact surrenders. Your persistent conviction is the force that bends the material world. A king does not doubt that his orders will be carried out. He speaks and then rests in the absolute certainty of his own power. The fear of death, the root of slavery. Let's go deeper. Why is it so difficult to maintain the state of sovereign? Because deep down you are afraid of death. The ego knows it is temporary. It knows that time is running out, that underlying fear generates haste, greed, and anxiety. I have to get it now before I die. It is the driving force of the horizontal prison. The sovereign, being identified with the eternal consciousness, vertical time, has lost the fear of death. He knows that death is only taking off a tight suit. He knows that life is an infinite game. When you lose the fear of dying, or social death, which is failure, you become dangerous for the system and powerful for the universe. You no longer have anything to lose. And he who has nothing to lose wins everything. The attitude of "if it goes well, great, and if I die, also great because I am eternal," is the purest vibration of detachment that exists. It is the vibration that performs miracles. It is the frequency of those who walk through fire without being burned. The solitude of the throne. There is a price for the crown. Sovereignty is a lonely path at first. Most of the people around you are victims. They gather to complain. They form clubs of, "Look how bad everything is." When you assume your power, you stop fitting into those clubs. Your friends will want you to complain with them to feel accompanied. They seek validation. You will say, "No, I create my reality. I do not accept that complaint." They will look at you strangely. They will call you arrogant or delusional. The sovereign accepts this solitude. He knows that it is better to be alone in the truth than accompanied in the lie. Do not come down from the throne to fit in with the commoners of mind. Stay up there, shine. Eventually your light will attract other sovereigns. You will create a new court of equals. But you must be willing to walk alone through the valley of transition. Your loyalty is to your vision, not to the mediocrity of the crowd. The price of your freedom is the disapproval of those who choose to remain in chains. Radical responsibility. This is the bitterest drink. If you are the king, everything that happens in your kingdom is your responsibility. You cannot blame the ministers, your parents, nor the enemies, the economy, nor the weather, luck. If your life is a disaster, it is because you have been a poor ruler of your mind. You have allowed the gates to remain open. You have left the gates open to invading thoughts. You have signed decrees of poverty. Radical responsibility hurts, but it liberates. If you created it, unconsciously, you can uncreate it, consciously. If the fault belonged to another, you would be screwed. Because you would depend on that other to change, you would be a helpless victim. Since the cause is you, the power is yours. The sovereign never says "they did to me," he says "I allowed." And immediately after he says, "And now I choose differently." This realization is the end of the search. You stop looking for culprits and start looking for solutions. You take the scepter and begin to reorder your world today. Technique: the coronation ritual. You need to anchor this identity in your nervous system. You are going to do an active visualization. Sit in a chair with your back straight, feet firm on the floor, hands on the armrests or thighs. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply and slowly. Visualize that you are in a great hall. At the back there is a throne of gold and light. It is yours. Walk toward the throne. As you walk, you see that on the throne someone is sitting. It is your little self. Your scared ego, full of doubts, looking at the phone, hunched over. Approach with love, but with firmness. Tell him, "Thank you for trying to take care of me, but your turn is over. I take command now." He stands up with relief. Visualize how the little self stands up, relieved, and sits at your feet, resting. You sit on the throne. Feel the weight of your body. Feel how your spine aligns with the axis of the universe. Visualize a heavy crown being placed on your head. Feel the physical weight. It is the crown of authority. It is the symbol of your new sovereignty. Visualize being given a scepter. It is the scepter of direction, focus. From that height, look at your problems. Look at your debts, your pains. They look tiny from the throne. Say mentally, "I am the operating power here. This is my kingdom. I order harmony. I order wealth. I order peace." Feel the atmosphere of the room turn to gold. Open your eyes. Maintain that internal posture. When you go to buy bread, go like the king going incognito. When you speak with your boss, speak sovereign to sovereign, not employee to boss. Reality responds to your energetic posture. You are the one who sets the tone for every interaction. Walk as if you already possess all that you seek. The magic mirror of reality. The world is a giant mirror. If you stand in front of the mirror and see a sad face, your current reality, and you want the reflection to smile, what do? Do you scream at the mirror? Do you try to move the reflection's lips with your hands? No, you have to smile first, even if you don't feel like it. You lead the way to the change. If you smile, the mirror has no choice. It must smile back. It is a mechanical law. The sovereign understands that reality has no initiative of its own. Reality only reflects. That is why the sovereign never waits to see changes to feel good. He feels good first, the smile, and knows that the change, the reflection, is inevitable. It's done. It is a matter of tenacity. Sometimes the mirror has a slight delay, Chapter 5. Maintain the smile. Do not lower it. The reflection will arrive. If you blink or look away in doubt, you reset the process. Hold your state of being with royal stubbornness until the physical world has no choice but to surrender and match your inner radiance. Managing the rebellion. When the ego counterattacks. When you decide to be sovereign, there will be a rebellion in the palace. Your old ego will not surrender so easily. It will launch panic attacks. It will remind you of your past failures. It will make you feel ridiculous. Who do you think you are, you fake king? Look at your bank account. You are at zero. It will try to pull you down. This is the trial by fire. If you get scared and come down from the throne to argue with the ego, you lose. The king does not argue with rebels. The king reaffirms his position. Simply observe the voice of the ego. Do not identify with it. Say, "I hear you, old programming, but you no longer have power here. Thank you for your opinion." The decision is made. And refocus your attention on your vision. Persistence is the king's sword. He who holds the gaze longest wins. If you hold your vision longer than reality holds the problem, reality blinks and changes. Your unwavering focus is the command that reorganizes the atoms of your world. Stay firm on your throne of light. Integration, human and divine. Being sovereign does not mean stopping being human. It does not mean you do not cry, that you do not feel pain, or that you do not make mistakes. Kings also cry, but the sovereign cries with dignity. He cries, dries his tears, learns the lesson, and continues ruling. He does not wallow in the mud. He does not play the victim. He is noble. Integrate your humanity, your emotions, under the guidance of your divinity, your consciousness. Treat your human part like a loved child who sometimes gets scared. You, the sovereign, are the father, mother of your own human being. Calm down, little me. I'll take care of it. Everything is going to be fine. You are your own best protector. That self-parenting is true emotional freedom. You no longer need anyone from the outside to validate or calm you. You have yourself. When you reach this level of self-sufficiency, you become a pillar of strength for others. But your primary duty is to your own throne. By ruling yourself well, you become a blessing to the entire world. The sovereign's magnetic effect. When you reach this state, something curious happens. You become irresistible. People are tired of weak leaders. People are hungry for certainty. When you walk into a room with the energy of the sovereign, without arrogance, only quiet security, people want to be near you. They want to do business with you. They want to love you. They feel that by your side they are safe. Your stability becomes their refuge. Attraction is not something you do. It is what you are. The king does not chase. The king attracts. The king sits, and the court comes to him. Stop chasing clients, loves, and opportunities. You are the prize that the world is seeking. Stay in your center. Sit on your vibratory throne, shine with intensity, and let the world come to pay you homage. You have found the point of power where time stops and creation begins. You are the master of your destiny and the captain of your soul. Go forth and rule your kingdom with the wisdom and love that have been awakened within you today. Chapter 10. Chronomagic Rituals Daily Practice. We have reached the final frontier. You have climbed the mountain of knowledge. You have understood that time is an illusion, that the past is editable, that the future is a memory, and that you are the sovereign monarch of your reality. All of this sounds intoxicating and powerful while you listen to this audio in your room. But the true test is not here. The test is Monday morning. The test is when the alarm goes off at 6:30 a.m. You are sleepy. It is cold. The children are crying. There is a traffic jam on the highway, and your bank account sends you a low balance notification. There in the mud of the daily trench is where most theoretical magicians fail. They forget everything. The tsunami of 3D reality hits them. They lose their verticality, they panic, they react with the old ego, and they become slaves of Chronos again. Magic is not what you know. It is what you consistently do under pressure. To sustain the sovereign state in a world of slaves, you need structure and scaffolding. You need a scaffolding that supports your consciousness when you are tired or distracted. That scaffolding consists of rituals. I'm not talking about superstitions or lighting colored candles or chanting mantras in Sanskrit, unless you like that. I am talking about behavioral technology. I am talking about psychological protocols. Psychological and energetic protocols designed to anchor you in vertical time and collapse horizontal time. Welcome to Chapter 10. Today we are going to design your new life. We are going to install the routine of the conscious creator. We are going to make magic your new natural habit, a structural part of your very existence, the principle of the first move. In chess, the opening defines the game. In life, the morning defines the timeline. Most people lose the battle in the first 10 minutes of the day. What does the average human do? 1. The alarm sounds, startle, cortisol. 2. They grab the mobile, connection with the matrix. 3. They check news or social networks, fear, envy programming. They remember their problems. I have to pay this, that hurts. Result, they have anchored their vibration in the past and in reaction. The day is already lost. They have surrendered their sovereignty before getting out of bed. The magician does the opposite. The magician practices the reverse morning. He claims his power first. Ritual 1. The avatar tuning upon awakening. When you wake up, your brain is in theta or alpha waves. It is a state of natural hypnosis. It is the most fertile time to sow. Do not touch the mobile. Forbid it to yourself. Touching the mobile is letting the world enter your mind before you have armored your mind. It is an intrusion. The identity question. Before opening your eyes while you are in that foggy state, ask yourself, who am I today? Do not let automatic memory tell you, I am John, the tired one. Insert the sovereign's answer. I am the creator. I am powerful. I am rich. I am loved. Feel that identity descending into your body. Put on the avatar suit. The paving of the day, segment intending. Before getting up, visualize the 3 or 4 key scenes of the day, the meeting, the gym, dinner. Visualize them going perfectly. See the meeting and feel the successful handshake. See the traffic and feel calm listening to music. You are sending quantum scouts ahead in time to clear the path. You are pre-paving your immediate future. If you don't do this, you walk through unpaved terrain full of potholes. The startup gratitude. Put your feet on the ground. As you touch the floor, say, "Thank you. Thank you for another day of play on Earth. Thank you because everything is resolved." This routine lasts only 3 minutes. This routine lasts 3 minutes, but those 3 minutes place you in the high-frequency timeline. It is the most profitable investment of your time. You are establishing the vibratory tone that will govern every event, every encounter, and every result of your day. You are starting from victory rather than struggling toward it. Ritual 2, the coffee of eternity, Kairos practice. Now you get up, you go to the kitchen. This is where haste usually attacks. I'm late. Stop. Use your first drink, coffee, tea, water, as a sacrament of vertical time. Do not drink the coffee while looking at the news or answering emails. Sit for 5 minutes, just you and the coffee. Look at the steam, smell the aroma, feel the heat in the cup, feel the liquid going down your throat. Enter the now, Chapter 2. Those 5 minutes of absolute presence are worth more than 1 hour of forced meditation. You are telling your nervous system, "There is no rush, I own my time, the world can wait." It is a message of peace. That signal of calm reduces cortisol and activates your intuition. You leave the house not as a firefighter who is going to put out fires, but as an architect who is going to build. You are moving from the stillness of the center. You carry that internal silence with you into the noise of the world, maintaining your sovereignty. Ritual 3, the atomic stop, during the day. You are at work. Chaos begins, calls, shouts, urgencies. You feel the horizontal current dragging you. You feel you are losing your center. You need an emergency reset button. Use the atomic stop. Put a silent alarm on your mobile every 3 hours, or use it when you feel stress. When it rings or when you remember. 1. Freeze. Stop what you are doing physically. Do not move a finger. 2. Release. Scan your body. Is your jaw tense? Your shoulders up? Release them. Let them fall. 3. Breathe. Take 3 conscious breaths. Inhale light. Exhale black smoke, tension. 4. Remember. Tell yourself. Tell yourself mentally, "I am not this, I am the observer. This is just a movie." Go back to work. It will take you 60 seconds. But you will have cut the inertia of stress. You will have returned to the throne. If you don't do this, stress accumulates, and by 6 p.m. you are a reactive zombie. If you do it, you arrive at the night fresh. Ritual 4, the hypnotic diet, input protection. Let's talk about what you eat. Not food, but information. You cannot pretend to have a millionaire sovereign mind if you consume victim-slave information. If you spend 2 hours a day watching news about crises and wars, you are programming your subconscious with fear. If you spend 2 hours watching perfect lives on Instagram, it's bad. You are programming your subconscious with envy and lack. That is poison. You are putting trash in the engine of your Ferrari. The magician does a hypnotic diet. 1. News fast. Stop watching news. If something important happens, you will find out. You don't need to know every detail of every misfortune in real time. Cut the cord. Network curation. Stop following anyone who makes you feel less or who makes you angry. Follow only mentors, artists, inspiring accounts, or humor. Your feed should be a temple, not a dump. 3. Audio programming. Take advantage of dead times. Car, subway, washing dishes. Instead of listening to worry, listen to success. Instead of listening to your repetitive thoughts of worry, put on this audiobook or success podcasts or music that uplifts you. Wash your brain. If you don't wash it, the system will wash it for you. You must be the guardian of your own portal. Control the quality of the seeds you allow into your garden to ensure a royal harvest. Ritual 5. The art of wu-wei action, moving slow. The Navy SEALs have a saying, "Slow is smooth and smooth is fast." It is the perfect definition of action in vertical time. When you have to do a complex task, do not jump in with frenzy. Frenzy creates errors. Errors create delays. Enter Wu-Wei mode, effortless action. Move 10% slower than your anxiety asks of you. Be precise. Pay attention to every movement. Write the email with consciousness. Place objects with softness. That softness creates a flow field. Paradoxically, you will finish sooner, and the result will be excellent. Haste is a vibration of lack. There is no time. Softness is a vibration of abundance. I have all the time. Act like royalty. Have you ever seen a queen run? She moves with a deliberate and unhurried grace. By slowing down your physical pace, you anchor your mind in the present. You stop being a victim of the clock and become the master of the moment. Your actions gain power and weight. You accomplish more by doing less with much more focused presence. Ritual 6. The nightly revision, the karma cleaner. Night arrives, the day is over. You take dust, wounds, arguments, and exhaustion to bed. If you fall asleep like that, your subconscious, which works 24/7, will marinate in that negativity all night, and you will wake up tomorrow in the same timeline. Never sleep without cleaning. Never fall asleep without cleaning your vibration. Use the technique from Chapter 3, Revision. 1. Review the day backwards from night to morning. 2. Locate the black moments, the fight, the error, the fear. 3. Rewrite them. Imagine them perfect. If you cannot visualize, simply use Ho'oponopono. Say, I'm sorry, forgive me, thank you. I'm sorry, forgive me, thank you, I love you. Clean the energy. Go to sleep neutral or positive, never negative. Sleep is the portal to the creative dimension. Entering sleep angry is like entering surgery with dirty hands. You are going to get infected. Clear the slate so the universe can write a new story while you rest. Ritual 7. The programming of the double. Hypnagogia. Just before you fall asleep, in that sweet moment where you float between wakefulness and sleep, hypnagogic state, the doors of the subconscious are wide open. It is the magical moment. What you think here becomes a direct order. It is the most powerful time for command. Do not use this moment to worry about tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow I have to. Use it to give the order to the servant. Choose a short phrase, a mantra, that summarizes your fulfilled desire. Thank you for my perfect health. I am immensely rich. What a wonderful day I have had, even if it is for tomorrow. Repeat it like a song. Repeat it like a lullaby over and over until you fall asleep. You will fall asleep lulled by the assumption of your desire. For 8 hours, your deep mind will work to materialize that. It is the most productive way to use the night. You are hiring your subconscious to build your dream while your body recovers its strength. Weekly Ritual Sovereignty Sunday. Dedicate 1 hour on Sunday, or your day off, for the weekly reset. It is not for work. It is to align the compass. 1. Review your victories. Write 5 good things from the week. Train your brain to see the gold. 2. Forgive your failures. Did you screw up on Wednesday? Forgive yourself. It's over. Do not carry it to the following week. 3. Design the week. Do not just make a list of tasks. Make a list of states. On Monday, I want to feel productive and agile. On Tuesday, I want to feel creative. On Wednesday, I want to feel loving. Decide the emotion before the action. Plan your internal weather before the external tasks. The habit of walking as such. This is a continuous physical ritual. Observe your posture right now. Are you hunched over? Slumped shoulders? Shallow breathing? That is the victim's posture. Your body is telling your brain that you are defeated. Correct the posture. Shoulders back. Open chest, exposed heart. Chin high. Deep breathing. Walk as if you had an invisible cape. Walk as your future self. When you change your physiology, you change your psychology instantly. If you feel depressed, raise your arms in a V, victory sign, for 2 minutes. It is impossible to feel depressed with arms in a V. Biochemistry does not allow it. Use your body as the remote for your mind. The management of contrasts, when everything goes wrong. Despite all your rituals, one day everything will go wrong. The tire will go flat, you will lose your wallet, and your partner will leave you. It is the contrast. Here the apprentice is distinguished from the master. The apprentice says, the law does not work. Look at this. He says, "Look at this disaster," and he quits. The master says, "Fantastic. If the chaos is great, it is because the reordering is great. The universe is moving heavy furniture. I'm about to make a quantum leap." Your ritual in chaos is the blessing of the obstacle. Say, "I bless this problem because it hides a seed of benefit. I bless this because it hides the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit." And look for the seed. It is always there. The flat tire saved you from an accident further ahead. The breakup freed you to meet your soulmate. Trust the plot. Do not judge the movie by one dark scene. Stay in your center while the pieces fall into place. The rule of silence, the pressure cooker. Remember Chapter 5 and the conclusion of the previous book. Keep your rituals a secret. Do not go to the office saying, "Don't talk to me. I'm doing my atomic stop." They will take you for a fool. Do it in the bathroom. Do it in silence. Your power resides in your mystery. Keep it guarded. Let people wonder, why is he always so calm? Why does everything go well for him? Let them wonder. Do not dissipate your energy trying to convince or explain. Be the magician, not the preacher. Your results will be your only testimony. When your life begins to shine, your silence will speak louder than any explanation ever could. Constancy, the cement of reality. A final warning about rituals. Doing them one day is easy. Doing them for a week is fun. Doing them when you have been at it for 30 days and you don't see results is what makes you a magician. Reality has a lag, delay. Your rituals of today are creating your life in 30 or 60 days. It is a process. Your life today is the result of your lack of rituals 60 days ago. Do not judge the present. The present is old. Keep paving. Keep watering. Constancy is the most powerful force in the universe. Water is soft, but drop by drop, it pierces the hardest rock. Your rituals are those drops. They will pierce the rock of your old reality. Integration, your new normality. At first, these rituals will seem like work. You will have to make an effort to remember them, set alarms, stick post-its on the mirror. But a day will come, maybe in 3 weeks, maybe in 2 months, when you will no longer have to think about it. You will wake up and give thanks automatically. It will be you. You will walk like a king without realizing it. You will review your day before sleeping like someone who brushes their teeth. That day, you will have crossed the threshold. The magician will have become your nature. You no longer do magic. You are magic. Manifestation will cease to be an effort and become an inevitable byproduct. Now you have the manual. You have the tools. You do not need more books. You do not need more courses. You do not need more gurus. You have the power to tune the morning, to stop stress at noon, and to rewrite the night. You have the power to turn every day into a masterpiece of art. Your life is built day by day. You are the master. If you win the day, you win the week. If you win the week, you win the month. If you win the month, you win the year. If you win the year, you win your life. You are the architect of time. The clock is your instrument, not your jailer. Go now and live your eternity in every passing second. The kingdom is yours. Conclusion, the keeper of the clock. You look at the clock on the wall, or you look at the glowing digits on your phone screen. A few hours ago, those numbers were your jailers. They told you that you were late. They told you that you had little time left. They told you that you were old, or too young, or that you had wasted your life. Now look at them again. What do you see? You only see a mechanism, a mechanical toy, an inert tool that measures the movement of the earth around the sun, but which no longer has the capacity to measure the movement of your soul. You have recovered the keys. You have traveled an impossible journey. You have dismantled the linear illusion of time. You have learned a new way to live. You have learned to walk backward to heal your footprints and to walk forward to pave your destiny. You have discovered that you can live an eternity in a single second of vertical presence. You are no longer a frightened passenger on the train of life, watching through the window as the landscape fades without control. You are free now. Now you are in the locomotive. You have your hand on the speed lever. You have become the keeper of the clock. But before you close this audiobook and return to the noise of the world, I have to ask you the last question, the most important question of all. Now that you know how to bend time, what are you going to use it for? Think. Many come to metaphysics looking for things. They want to manifest the fast car to arrive sooner at places they don't care about. They want to manifest money to buy objects that distract them from the emptiness of their time. They want to manifest the ideal partner so as not to have to face the loneliness of their own time alone. Stop. If you use this power only to accumulate toys on the horizontal stage, you will have wasted the gift. You will have decorated your golden cell, but you will still be in the cell. The true purpose of mastering time is not productivity. It is not efficiency. It is not material wealth. The purpose is liberty, the freedom to simply be here, the freedom to look into the eyes of your child, your mother, or your friend, and stop the universe to be with them. The freedom to never be in a hurry again because you know you are eternal. The freedom to savor a piece of bread as if it were the most exquisite delicacy, because you are so present that the bread becomes a sacred event. The keeper of the clock does not destroy the clock. He respects it, but he does not obey it. He uses Chronos to get to the appointment, but he uses Kairos to love the person he is meeting. He lives in the world of forms, pays his bills and keeps his schedules, but inside in his inner sanctuary, he lives in an eternal Sunday. He is at peace. Nobody notices it from the outside except for that strange glint in the eyes, that glint of someone who knows a secret, the secret that everything is fine, that everything has already happened, and that the end is always good. From today on, your life is going to change. Not because the world changes suddenly, but because you no longer fit. You no longer fit in your old life. You will realize that you no longer tolerate empty conversations that kill time. You will realize that you no longer get hooked on dramas that steal your vital energy. You will become jealous of your attention. You will become a miser of your consciousness, and you will do well. It is your only true power. Because your attention is the currency with which you buy reality. There will be difficult days, I'm not going to lie to you. There will be days when the inertia of the world drags you down. Days when the fear of the future hits you in the stomach. Days when you feel yourself falling back into the linear prison. When that happens, stop. When that happens, and it will, do not judge yourself. Do not punish yourself. Simply stop. Do your atomic stop. Breathe. And remember who you are. Remember that you are the observer. Remember that time is a movie, and you are the projector. Smile at the fear and say to it, I see you, but you are only a memory. I am the reality. And in that instant, you will return to the throne. Do not fear death. Death is only the end of horizontal time. It is the moment when the keeper hangs the clock on the wall and goes out to play in the infinite garden. While you are here, play. Play with the timelines. Jump. Experiment. Love with fury. Forgive with speed. It is a game. Do not save anything for a special day. The special day is today. The special moment is now. There is no other. There has never been another. Your past is clean because you have forgiven and revised it. Your future is secure because you have remembered and felt it. Your present is powerful because it is yours. This is your kingdom. The book ends here, but your legend starts now. The canvas is blank, the clay is wet, the universe holds its breath, waiting for your next decree. What are you going to create today, magician? Go out there. Walk slowly in a world that runs. Stand firm in a world that trembles. Love in a world that fears. You are the stillness now. The clock keeps ticking. But you are no longer the sound. You are the silence between the ticks, and in that silence, everything is possible.